points, S&P climbing 32, the NASDAQ up 155. And we check the WTIC forecast.
For the rest of our Friday afternoon, continuing to become sunny, increasingly windy, temperature breaking the record from 1974 with a high of 82. Those west winds 12 to 25 miles an hour. They will subside some tonight, but it's breezy, otherwise mainly clear and cooler. The low down to 47. Sunny to partly cloudy Saturday, breezy and cooler. That high of 59 will feel significantly cooler with that northwest wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Mostly sunny and cool on Sunday, but less windy, a high of 56. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
79 degrees
Hey, I sent
right
you a
now,
promo.
and again,
Let
the
me know
red
if you want
flag
me to
warning
turn that
is in
volume
effect
down on
until
the
7
airplane.
p.m. Sports, college football, UConn hosting Georgia State, Celtics in Charlotte.
All right.
The Wolfpack at Syracuse. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, I'm Deb. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
I'm Jan, Deb's sister. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
Okay, but I said it first.
It's more than food. It's my Big Y Rewards.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
On Tuesday, people across the state and nation will cast their vote. And when the polls close, WTIC News Talk 1080 will have complete local coverage of the state and presidential races. Brian Shackman, Tom Shattuck, and Reese will discuss the polling results with experts. Who will win the key races in Connecticut? Who will be our next president? Our coverage begins at 6. Tune in for your trusted local election night coverage. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Look at them throwing my name in the promo.
You love your...
1 minute.
Let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
The Manchester Road Race is back for the 88th running on Thanksgiving morning. This world-class event that attracts Olympians and families alike is one of the greatest sports traditions in Connecticut. You can register now at manchesterroadrace.com, and please keep in mind that net proceeds from the Manchester Road
In 10.
So if you run or walk but don't register, the charities lose. Please register today at manchesterroadrace.com. See you on Thanksgiving in Manchester.
I got you, Luna girl. Good one.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances.
Thank God it's...
The airing of grievances.
Thank God it's...
The airing of grievances.
Grievances.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it. Yeah!
What's going on, all you scallywags and nutmeggers, and of course, conversationalists across the state? It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC. I am hyped. I am ready to go. Honestly, I'm shaking in my boots because I have to do something that I don't like to do coming up this weekend, and we'll talk about it. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I hope that you're excited. I'm excited. It's the final weekend before Election Day, and that's a big deal around here, folks. That's a big deal. I was on a text exchange with it was like a little text thread with myself, Brian Shackman and Tom Shattuck today, and Brian Shackman said exactly what I've said all my life. This is our Super Bowl, and I'm really looking forward to being in studio with those two gentlemen to listen to their perspectives. I try not to listen to their shows. Hence, like, people tend to borrow from other people not knowing that they're doing it. You hear something, it sticks with you, and then so I don't want to get anybody this impression I'm stealing from anybody. So I try to stay away from their shows primarily around this time so that we can exchange ideas and I can hear them all for the first time. So it's no disrespect that I don't listen to their shows. I just don't want to, because in a time like this where you're going to be in the studio with them, I want to hear their perspectives brand new, fresh. I don't want to go in there with any preconceived notions. So this is going to be a great night on Tuesday with them. Even if I flat out disagree with everything that Brian says. I'm teasing Brian. I want to hear that perspective. I think Brian's a little middle of the road as far as politics are concerned. But I'm really excited to sit with him. I've only got one chance to actually be on the air with him, and that was on Christmas about 2 years ago. And this will be nice to be sort of like throughout something like this where there'll be topics, local races, the national races, all that good stuff. So can't wait for that. There was something else I need to know. Oh, the thing that I'm afraid of. My fear, as it were. I don't know if I've expressed this. There are certain things that you folks know about me. I don't give all of my business out there. Some of my other podcasters in the podcast world, they used to chide me about this. And I had to explain to them why this was important. So they used to chide me and say, Reese, you tell too much stuff about, things about your personal life. And I'm like, I don't like to make things about me, but I like my personal experiences explain to people why I feel this way or that way about certain things. So I think there has to be something relative. Like, I don't want to be out here just giving my opinion and not expressing where my opinions or my point of view has been, what has it been formed by? I'm articulating that poorly. So I do that often by talking about myself. So in this case, and I know a lot of people are going to talk about this when I mention it, I have not really gotten over flying yet. I thought I had, but I realized something about this particular trip. And that is, I don't have anyone as a companion on this flight. See, I've flown alone maybe once or twice on little, puddle hoppers here to there, an hour-long flight. But I don't like hours-long flights by myself. And I've not done that. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I was with someone then. So the longest flight I ever took in my life was from Boston to Denver. And the worst part about that trip was it wasn't a direct flight. I had to go to Arizona, to Phoenix, to then go to Denver. And it was in 2008 for the Democratic National Convention, of course, for Barack Obama. I flew there on my own. And I hated that flight because, it was a good long time on a plane. And the fact that I had to fly past Colorado, essentially fly past Colorado to get to Phoenix, Arizona, and then go backwards really ticked me off. That I had to fly more than I, thought deemed necessary in my view. And I'm afraid to fly. I just am. Now, in my drinking days, I would just have a couple of Dewar's on the rocks and forget about it. Just fall asleep on the flight and I'd be fine. So I've been sober now for about 5 years, a little more than 5 years. So I haven't had a drink, and I've flown plenty of times with no anxiety, but I've always been with someone. My wife in particular. We flew to California, to Sacramento, like months into our courting. We flew to Sacramento for my birthday. And that was an interesting flight because we had to take several connectors, and it was one of those last-minute flights, so we couldn't get anything direct. So we had to take several flights, and it was a nightmare. And then we had first started dating. I thought after the experience we had on this flight, she was never going to see me again. But we had to sleep in the airport. We couldn't get a hotel. It was a nightmare. Our flights had been canceled. It was crazy. We spent like over 7 hours at the airport in the middle of the night. Really bad. We had to sit on we had to sit on those little Barca lounges that they have in the what's the name with the massage not things on the back. It was horrible. But that wasn't even a long flight because we had to take all of these mini flights. It was like 3 planes we had to take in order to get there. But I hate long flights. And this time I'm going alone. And as you may know, I don't really like to communicate with strangers. Nothing against them. I just don't want to be that guy on the plane. Just start sparking up a conversation with somebody sitting next to me. I don't want to be. So I'm assuming you have something to add to this, Roland. I heard the microphone go up. What say you now?
I just came back from a trip. First of all, I don't like flying alone either, but I do it all the time. And I just make sure I pick the aisle seat because I don't want to be sandwiched in between any people.
Plus, you're tall.
Yeah, plus I'm tall and I like to, stretch the legs out or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad if you just be cordial or throw your headphones on and people really don't.
Yeah, they don't bother you on the plane. Don't get me wrong.
Unless they're tipsy.
Right. I've never really been bothered on a plane. I remember a flight that I went to, I can't remember where it was, but I had to go from this place that's like, we call it Southern Canada, but it's upstate New York. Carl and I, from my moving company, he's been with me for over 5 years now. He and I actually did a drive all the way up to like northern New York and had to fly back to D.C., and we had to take a puddle hopper there. And it's a small little airport that's there. We had to fly on one of these really, really small planes into Virginia. Well, so when we got there, this woman got on a plane, and she was having a hard time with her identification. She ends up sitting next to me. So the entire flight coming down, we ended up talking. Interestingly enough, we got along. We talked the whole flight together, sitting next to each other, and I forgot how long the flight even was. To this day, I couldn't tell you how long the flight was. We had a great conversation the entire time, and I was done with, no problems, no hesitance or fear. But I don't like to fly alone, and I don't want to be one of those people who, out of desperation or turbulence, I start sparking up a conversation like some lunatic going, "Hey, so how you doing? Are you okay? Yeah, how are the kids? How's chicks?" I don't want to be that guy because I get a little nervous.
Is it what are you flying?
United.
Oh my God.
And dude, it's a small plane.
Dude, I just flew United, and I'm trying to get my money back.
Oh, you serious?
That's how terrible the flight was.
It's a small plane. That's another problem that I have. And again, I don't understand. Can I tell you? All right, I'm going to tell you a horrible thing that I do when I'm on the plane. And I get into my own head. By the way, let me say this first. Everybody listening to me, your brain is your worst enemy. If you let your brain do what it does, your paranoia, if you let it take control, there's no getting out of that well. This happens to me every time I fly on a plane and I have to convince myself to stop doing it. I start imagining that someone down in air traffic control has fallen asleep and he is not paying attention to the air, and a plane is going to come flying through my own plane. It happens every time I fly. That goes into my head, and all of a sudden I start sweating and getting uncomfortable. I talk myself into that happening. I have no idea why I do it. And I don't know if it's a fight or flight thing. I don't know if it's a paranoid thing. I don't know if I'm setting up myself for I don't know. I just don't get it. But I'm not. This is the reason why. So if I have someone there, especially a companion, okay, let me just say it. My wife, I can at least get her to rub my hand, maybe rub my back, calm down. She can give me a kiss and I can think about it. It's just a way that I can never, I don't have to think. Because that was the beautiful part about drinking. Somebody said in the chat room, Rama says, "You're like B.A. Baracus from the A-Team. Someone's going to slip a drug into my drink." I would totally appreciate that if I drank again. And what's that other stuff that they give you? Is it Dramamine or something?
Yeah, but that's just for dizziness.
Yeah, I know, but
I'll take that.
No, I'm not going to take anything. By the way, that's another ailment of mine. I cannot take drugs. I can't take any drugs. Now, I'm not talking about illegal. I can't take any drugs, any pharmaceuticals I cannot take. If you invented a drug that says you will hop on one leg for 45 minutes, I will hop on one leg for 2 days. The side effects of any drug, I get them every time. It's whatever the drug is supposed to do, it happens to me 10 times. I'm absolutely susceptible to drugs in some weird way. So that's why I can't take anything when I fly. So I have to sit there and, maybe you know what I should do? I should stay up all night the night before and then get on the plane and be so tired that I fall asleep.
Nah, you don't want to do that.
Oh, come on.
Not in today's society.
No, I don't want. Why would someone?
If you start drooling or if anything happens while you're sleeping, Reese on the Radio will be viral.
I will be viral, right? Okay, fine. Good point.
You don't want to do that.
All right.
But United sucks, man.
Is it really that bad? I can't.
Both going to New Orleans and coming back was horrible. The plane hit a bird, so then they had to do all these FAA regulations and get paperwork cleared. So that took an hour and a half. We were sitting on the plane for an hour and a half. Then when we land in New Orleans, they don't know how to connect the breezeway that you walk through to the plane. So this has never happened before in the history of planes.
Did you have to walk on the tarmac?
No, we didn't. We waited another hour for them to figure out how to connect it, and they finally connected. And you hear the pilot comes on. He's like, "This is very embarrassing. We can't figure out how to get you guys off this plane." And I'm like,
what?
I'm like, what?
Listen to me. What a perfect opportunity to do the whole emergency landing slide.
Yeah.
Doesn't get everybody out. Everyone wants to do it. Everyone would be happy with doing that. It was like, wait a minute, we get to go on the slide? Yeah, man, sign me up. I would totally have taken advantage of that.
Then on the way back, 3-hour delay, then another hour delay. Then they said, gonna have to cancel the flight.
No.
We'll let you get on in the morning, or you can fly to Boston right now. So, and I flew to Boston, then took a Uber from Boston to Springfield.
No way.
Which was $94.
Holy moly.
And got picked up in Springfield and went home.
And then went home. Goodness gracious.
So
now, that's a nightmare.
Nightmare, dude.
That's a nightmare. Oh, okay, see, now you got that in my head. I have to ignore it. There's only one airline I remember flying on, and that's Southwest. I have no idea how many times I've been on United, Continental, American. I have no idea. Southwest, the only reason why I remember it is because I was with my wife and, flying back and forth to go visit her mom or visit home, stuff like that. It's the only thing I remember.
Well, so I usually fly Delta.
Okay.
The problem was I'm going to New Orleans on the same weekend that Taylor Swift has her concert in New Orleans. So a round trip ticket was like $1,400.
Wow.
And the cheapest one was United. It was like $7 and some change, $7.60 or something like that for a round trip ticket.
Oh, there's an old comedian by the name of Gallagher. He's the guy who used to smash the pumpkins the watermelon on stage. Yeah, he used to say that Delta stands for "Don't even let them aboard." I used to love when he said that. But he was talking about hijackers. But I've always remembered that acronym for Delta. I thought that was hilarious. So yeah, it's going to be a big deal for me because of course I've got to do 2 flights. I've flown to Chicago before. I've flown to Cleveland before. I had to fly to Cleveland to go from LaGuardia to Cleveland to Buffalo. Right?
Wow.
That was, again, hated that flight. And primarily because I had to sit next door to what I can only describe as the airline Nazi. Now, hear me out, folks. I don't use that term loosely. He clearly saw that I had never flown a plane or flown in a plane before at the time, and this is in the mid-'90s, and it's true. I had not been on a plane before, so I knew very little about airplane etiquette, nor did I know there was a such thing. And on this plane, he had the same exact flight as me for both flights. So the flight from LaGuardia to Cleveland Hopkins to Buffalo. His seats were right next to mine on both planes. In fact, after we flew to Cleveland Hopkins, I said to myself, please don't have that guy sit next to me again. And sure enough, I'm walking. I get on the plane first. I get an aisle seat. and who's coming in on the plane? I'm going, there's no way he's sitting next to me. There's no way. Oh, crap. He sat right next to me. And this is why I call him the airline Nazi. He did this the entire flight. You should put your seatbelt on. You have to lock that. Put that thing underneath there. That should be underneath there. The whole time. Talking to me like I was his kid. I'm in my mid-20s. You don't want to put that there. Yeah, you might want to be careful because the stewardess is going to come this way. He drove me crazy for the whole flight. I took the train home. That's how bad it was. I took Amtrak home. I never want to experience a guy like that on the plane ever again. And he was the most annoying. It ruined that trip for me. So that's what I'm going through right now. It's kind of tough, but I can't call it my grievance because the airlines have always been good to me. I don't have a problem with delays. I had one. I got to tell this story, and then I'll get into the news and all the issues you guys love. And, of course, I'll take your comments about my flying. This happened, and I don't know. I think I told this story before, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. I'm going to a friend's funeral from New York to Florida, and the only way I can get there because it's last minute, his father had died, and we couldn't get a flight to Florida from LaGuardia unless it was on standby, which meant I had to wait around on a plane. Standby going and standby coming back, and it was a nightmare. I took 3 flights down plus a rental car and 2 flights home. On the way home, after that nightmare, finally getting down there for the funeral, flying back, we get into Philadelphia International Airport. When we get into the airport, we're waiting, and I've never been in an airline where you could see the plane right outside the window and you're like kind of on the ground level. Like the plane is 100, maybe 200 feet from you. And when you leave, you walk on the tarmac to get into the plane. I'd never done that before. This is like 96, 97. I'd never done that before. So I was kind of excited that we were going to walk out there. I never walked on the tarmac. That'd be interesting. So anyway, the plane comes in. We had waited an hour for it to arrive. It finally does. And when it gets there, they tell us, okay, we have to clean the plane. We have to refuel the plane. And then you can fly into LaGuardia on this plane from Philadelphia. And I go, okay. It takes a little longer. A woman comes up and she says, hey, if you guys don't want to wait for this, there's a bus going to New York. It'll take you about 2.5 hours. And we all said, well, how long is this flight? They said 45 minutes. I said, no, we'll wait. I don't want to ride the bus. Finally, a crew comes in. They're fueling it. And then a maintenance guy comes out outside of the plane. And he puts up a big ladder. He's standing up on it. And for some odd reason, I could hear the mechanics of the tool that he's using underneath the plane. And I hear some ratchet gun or whatever it was underneath the wing. And I hear him drilling or moving the drill. And all you hear is, zzz, 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 zzz. I could hear that through the window. Finally, his thing gets jammed and he couldn't move it. And then finally, he takes his fist, Roland, and starts banging up on the wing with his hand. Boom, 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 boom. We're all watching this outside the window. This woman who was waiting with us walked up to the attendant at the counter and she says, I'm sorry, where is that bus again? She only said what we were all thinking. I don't know if I want to get on this plane. This guy was banging on it. I was waiting for the guy to give it last rites. He was banging on the wing like I thought it was in the Flintstones. That's how bad it was. I ended up taking the plane. The worst part about it was, and we got to take a break, we had to circle because all these flights that were coming into LaGuardia, we ended up having to circle so many times over the Bronx for about 30 minutes before we could land. And it was nothing but turbulence the entire time. And the only thing I said that entire time as we're circling is going, oh my God, I'm going to die in the Bronx. That's all I could say. I'm going to die in the Bronx. That's exactly what's going to happen. It was the worst. All right, we'll get back to the issues. When we return, I've got to talk about what happened at the Washington Post and all this other stuff, so stick around. Your phone calls as well. It's 860-522-WTIC. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking great sex, with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. In Northeast Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases, and we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 860-981-0063 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 860-981-0063. That's 860-981-0063 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 860-981-0063, 860-981-0063, or go to freedomcare.com.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
And now, a WTIC news update.
76 degrees at 3:30. I'm Dave Migger, WTIC 1080 News. High around 80 this afternoon, mid-40s for the low overnight. Red flag warning remains in effect through 7 tonight. After years of surging employment, a disappointing jobs report, hurricanes bear part of the blame.
The Labor Department reported a gain of only 12,000 jobs last month, well below the more than 100,000 expected, as the report was heavily skewed by the impacts of Hurricanes Helene and Milton and the month-long walkout by Boeing's factory workers in Washington state, which resulted in the manufacturing sector losing 46,000 jobs in October. Less than half the firms in the survey responded, the lowest response rate since 1991. The weaker jobs
Charlie
gains
Z, if you're out there, I know I forgot
odds.
Jordan
He said
yesterday. I
cutting
promise I'll give
interest
him a
rates
shout
by
out.
a quarter point at next week's meeting.
CBS's Jason Brooks. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris both campaigning in Wisconsin. Trump last night, appearing with Tucker Carlson, appeared to suggest his rival Liz Cheney should face a firing squad. Critics say the comments show again Trump would violently target his critics if elected. In response, Cheney says Trump is, quote, a cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant. Kamala Harris added this last hour.
We see this kind of rhetoric that is violent in nature, where we see this kind of spirit coming from Donald Trump that is so laden with the desire for revenge and retribution. And Liz Cheney is a tough person. She is an incredible American, and I have an incredible amount of respect for her.
The clock changes Sunday morning. That means an extra hour of sleep if you take it. Dr. Jennifer Kanan of UConn Health works in sleep medicine. She says it's a good time to think about how much sleep you get.
It's also a great opportunity for you to kind of sit back and take a look at your sleeping habits and go through a series of several questions. 1, am I getting enough sleep? 2, am I getting good sleep? And 3, could I have an undiagnosed sleep disorder? I think those are kind of 3 good things to,
Hey, should I bring
really
headphones with me?
Address with yourself.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 296.
Yeah, you should bring your own personal headphones.
Climbing 147.
I figured as much.
Let's check the WTIC.
Yeah, there's some here, but
Friday afternoon.
I bring my own. I just put it like that.
Windy, temperature breaking the record for
I know the drill.
1974 with a high of 82. Those west winds 12 to 25 miles an hour. They will subside some tonight, but it's breezy, otherwise mainly clear and cooler. The low down to 47. Sunny to partly cloudy Saturday, breezy and cooler. That high of 59 will feel significantly cooler with that northwest wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Mostly sunny and cool on Sunday, but less windy, a high of 56. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
76 now in Hartford. Sports, college football tonight. UConn hosting Georgia State. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager. WTIC 1080 News.
WTIC News Talk 1080 and Thomaston Savings Bank remind you to turn your clocks back 1 hour this Saturday night.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
Hi, I'm Kate from Farmington. When I called Allaire Elder Law, I didn't know exactly what I was looking for, but I knew I needed help. Allaire Elder Law helped me find my way. My husband had a stroke a year ago, and we worked hard to bring him home. I worried about what would happen if either of us had another medical emergency. Allaire Elder Law worked with us to develop a plan that will keep my husband safe at home while protecting our assets. What surprised me most was that I didn't just work with a lawyer. I worked with a wonderful team of people. Charlotte helped me rewrite my will to protect my husband. Amanda helped me gather materials and navigate the Medicaid application. Heather came to our home to meet us, understand our needs, and connect us with a healthcare agency. I'm grateful for the team at Allaire Elder Law.
Find out more at AllaireElderLaw.com. That's ALLAIRE.
Hey basketball fans, it's Liam McNeely, your new freshman recruit. On the court, I know the power of teamwork. It's not just about one player, it's about the whole team coming together to win. That's why I trust the law firm of Brown, Panderis, and Scott. With Brown, Panderis, and Scott, you get more than just a lawyer. You get a team of dedicated professionals fighting for you, working together to make sure you get the best results, just like we do on game day. Remember, when it comes to your legal needs, choose the team that knows the value of teamwork. Visit bpslawyers.com. They're here to win for you.
This fall, you've got homework, but no matter what it is, whether you're going to do it or get it done for you, the greatest collection of home products, pros, demos, and deals is back in the Connecticut Convention Center November 2nd and 3rd. It's the Fall Home Show presented by Xfinity. And not only are you going to save a ton of time and money on your fall fix-ups, you could win your choice of a brand new generator or EV charging station from Newington Electric. Sponsoring the show along with Channel 3. Find out more and register for that grand prize at jenksproductions.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
30 seconds.
Programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
Now, I didn't get to do the opening monologue because, of course, I was talking about the whole airplane thing. But today's opening monologue has to do with the news media and what can only be described as a reckoning. You may have heard the news today about conservative writer and radio host Hugh Hewitt. I've never listened to one episode of a Hugh Hewitt show. Nothing against him. He just, I just never really had an interest in him. There are a lot of people in the business who I love, adore, and I listen to. Hugh Hewitt's not one of them. That's not saying he's a horrible person or he's not interesting enough for me to listen to. He's just not, he's not a radio host that I've ever listened to. I've listened to others. But I've always saw him as a stand-up guy. Likes to play it down the middle. He is a conservative. He has conservative values, but I've always known him to be a down-the-middle straight guy. He's not the biggest Trump fan. He's not the biggest conservative fan. And he calls out conservatives when they go beyond the pale. And, of course, he goes after liberals when they do as well. And today could be no different. Now, I say this on the backdrop of what is happening at the Washington Post. Jeff Bezos, its owner, put out a letter and said, look, we're not endorsing anyone anymore. And the reality is we're showing too much bias. This whole nonsense about the era of Trump, where we believe that as a newspaper, we are contrarian to the president of the United States, Donald Trump in particular. And we're showing our stripes. We're showing that we are on the side of Democrats. We are the de facto press release of the Democrat Party. And in doing so, more and more people are leaving the newspaper. They're considering it a rag. No one's reading it. We have no influence. The only thing that we do is we preach the propaganda. We do what we're told. And the audience knows it. The crazy part about all of that is that it is all happening under the backdrop of the same media telling us that we must combat mis- and disinformation, while they continue to only talk about one side and in many cases fabricate stories. And that happened live with Hugh Hewitt, Jonathan Capehart, and a woman only known by, I guess, her job as associate editor, Ruth Marcus. They were on a podcast or video podcast, and they were discussing Donald Trump and Glenn Youngkin's recent courtroom victories. Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, where they shut down early voting early, and they extended them for 3 days. And Glenn Youngkin successfully getting over 1,600 people off the voter rolls who were illegals. This is how the discussion went. And on the other side, I'll explain to you why this particular story with Hugh Hewitt is so relevant to all of this.
It seemed like this week, Donald Trump is laying the groundwork for contesting the election by complaining that cheating was taking place in Pennsylvania by suing Bucks County for alleged irregularities. And this is on top of his continual assertion that if he loses, it's because of cheating.
Yeah, he's been laying the groundwork for this, just not in the last week, but in the last umpty-ump months. No election can be fair in Donald Trump's mind, unless Donald Trump wins it. And I think we are going to see him both rev up his supporters to contest elections outside of courtrooms and go to every courtroom he can in America where it's relevant to make whatever arguments he can, no matter how far-fetched. We saw how that worked out last time, but it didn't work out this time. It may not work. That may not happen this time. And now I'll let you go, Hugh.
Well,
now, again, Jonathan Capehart, Ruth Marcus. Capehart's a writer for the Washington Post, but you know he does a show on MSNBC. It's left-leaning. He's an opinion guy. He's not a real journalist. He's just an opinion guy. That's all he is. He might as well be the opinion editor over at the Washington Post. Ruth Marcus is the associate editor. And here the conversation is Donald Trump is screaming that he's being cheated on with no merit to the case. That's how they're presenting it. And Hugh Hewitt was having none of it.
I've just got to say, we're news people, even though we're at the opinion section. It's got to be reported. Bucks County was reversed by the court and instructed to open up extra days because they violated the law and told people to go home. So that lawsuit was brought by the Republican National Committee, and it was successful. The Supreme Court ruled that Glenn Youngkin was successful. We are news people, even though we have opinions, and we have to report the whole story if we bring up part of the story. So yes, he's upset about Bucks County, but he was right, and he won in court. That's the story.
I'll let you keep going, Jonathan.
No, I don't appreciate being lectured about reporting when many times you come here saying lots of things that aren't.
I will come back, Jonathan. I'm done. This is the most unfair election ad I have ever been a part of. You guys are working. That's fine. I'm done.
And so he walked off the air and then quit the paper, which only lends itself to what Jeff Bezos was talking about in his op-ed in his own paper, is that what Capehart was doing here, what Ruth Marcus was doing here, had nothing to do with the truth. It was an angle, and didn't even report it. They just said, oh, it's complaining. He's alleging that there's cheating going on. There clearly was. People had video of it, and they were acting like it didn't happen. And people are getting sick of it, but it gets better, folks. It gets better. On this very show yesterday, I took issue with the top of the hour news, angling in some way, and I know it's copy, but angling the idea that Donald Trump had suggested something different about his protection of women. This is CNN with John Berman talking to Representative Byron Donalds of Florida, originally from Brooklyn, talking about Donald Trump's claim. This is the clip CNN plays, and then listen to Jonathan Berman's question to Byron Donalds. It's astonishing that this happened.
Said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
All right. Why is Donald Trump telling women he will do things whether they like it or not?
John, that is grossly inaccurate what you just played. Play the full clip. Play it in its context. He was talking about the tragedy at our southern border that led to the death of Jocelyn Nungare. Jocelyn's mother has come out and endorsed Donald Trump because she fully believes that if Donald Trump was president, her daughter would be alive. And so what he was talking about was, I'm going to protect women. I'm going to protect children. And then he was just telling a joke. Really, he was telling a joke about how some of the staff said, no, don't say you would protect women, because they would take it out of context. Obviously, what CNN is doing right now, taking it out of context.
You're actually, you have the exact right context. You have the exact right context here, Congressman.
Aliens, especially violent, illegal alien criminals who have raped and who have murdered women in the United States.
Congressman, you just explained the exact right context was with Donald Trump's story was telling people how.
Now, you see how he tries to clean it up after he's been busted? But he only played that short clip. But to make matters worse, folks, same network, different anchor, talking to Karen Finney, a Democrat strategist. And what did Jake Tapper say about this story that's alleging that Donald Trump said something else about women? Here's Jake Tapper. I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Certainly, Trump said he was going to do something for women, whether they like it or not, whether the women like it or not. He was talking about protecting women, whether they like it or not. Certainly, you can take issue with the language, but it wasn't. He wasn't saying he was just going to do whatever he wanted, regardless of Anyway, anyway, but let's talk. I mean, but you take my point. You don't disagree, right? I'm saying I'm going to protect them, whether that women want me to protect them, whether right.
And some would say that's misogynist. And
so what?
But it's not as she presented it.
I think. Look, ultimately, I think we have to be careful in these last days. We did this in 2016. He's going to say something horrible, ridiculous, over the line.
So just quote it accurately.
No.
Exactly. Just quote it accurately. Everyone knew what he said. All the audio was there. On top of all of that, let me just say this. On top of all of that nonsense, here's what I want everybody to consider. MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, during a Donald Trump speech, what does she always do if Donald Trump is speaking during her show? As do many hosts on that network do. What do? They cut away from the speech and say that we're not going to play his speech before you've ever heard it, before they've even heard it. They're going to cut away because this president lies, they say. CNN's own Jake Tapper said it again, interrupted Donald Trump's speech to then say that he is going to lie in his speech. And then they tell you, we'll get back to the speech if he says anything newsworthy, which is code for if he says anything, then we can take issue with. And then rip him to shred, or his supporters for that matter. We won't cover it live for you to hear it on your own. We'll find the pieces that we have objections to and then play that for you and set the narrative. That's what it's for. But all of that is running very short on the nerves of the American people, on the left and the right. It's not working anymore. Jeff Bezos couldn't have written a more timely piece, even though many of us have been saying it for years. There will come a time where they're going to have to get to the real journalism that people need, respect, and are thirsting for, or else they're going to die. We'll take a break. More of this, because I got plenty others, when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
paid for by government. Now is the time to Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1 ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan silver dollar. That's a $59.90. And free shipping. Call 1-800-222-3871 now to secure your 1 ounce Morgan silver dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3871.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
Airing of Grievance Friday, so make sure you give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Doc is in Howington. Hello, Doc. Every time I say that, I feel like I have a weird lisp. Howington? Hello, Mowage. That's what I think I'm saying every time I say Howington. How are you doing, Doc? And not there. There he is.
My least favorite airport is Philadelphia.
You like the Philadelphia airport?
I don't like it at all.
Oh, you don't like it? Okay.
It is. Heathrow comes a close second, but that's besides the point. I want you to talk to your news department because they're propagating a lie. Trump did not say to put her in front of a firing line. He asked her. He said that she is a war hawk, and if she wants to be a war hawk, she should put herself in harm's way in war.
Right. And again, Donald Trump has been notorious for talking exactly. And again, he sounds more like people on the left and Democrats who have always said that about the government writ large, right? They've always said you have all of these senators and congressmen who are willing to put our sons and daughters in harm's way, having never faced rifles and guns in their face and in time of war, never having to sacrifice themselves. He was only repeating a mantra that I've heard my entire life since, Vietnam.
My family has a long history of service for the country back to the Revolutionary War days.
Mm-hmm.
With the generation of my children, I told them all, do not go in the military.
Many parents didn't.
I just said, with the way politics are going in the United States, you're going to end up in a war that will not be good. And this was before everything happened in Iraq. I had a nephew that was thinking of it. And I was like, no. Don't do it, Tom. Don't do it.
And I think, you know what, your sentiment makes sense because, one of the reasons why my mom never wanted me to join the military, because I come from a military background. My grandmother, my grandfather, all of my aunts and my uncles, all Army. And my mom was, again, one of the flower children of the 1960s, so she was, that whole, make love, not war, no nukes, all that stuff. That was my mom's, mission. So none of her kids could join the military because in essence, she was kind of like anti the man growing up, so our kids couldn't join the military. Not that I didn't have any respect for him because thank God I was raised with my grandfather. And my grandfather showed me to respect the military because, again, those people give of themselves and sacrifice so much. They gave all, So I always had that respect for them, although I still understood where my mom was coming from, saying that she felt like the government didn't care about the people who were on the front lines. And you can sort of look at that and understand where they're coming from, especially if you have people who are, because I didn't understand the military-industrial complex. I never understood that until I got old enough to. So, my wife is in the chat room now. She says, my oath of enlistment never expires. And that's the part that we've got to recognize. And Donald Trump is recognizing that the people who serve if they're going to be put in harm's way, it's got to be for the reason, like they've got to be put in harm's way for a reason that we can justify. And he was one of the biggest critics of the Iraq war. He's never changed his stance on that. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think he sounded any different than my mom, a devoted, Democrat, and many others on the left with my growing up. Anyway, thank you, Doc. Let's get to our first check of the traffic with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. If you are traveling into the Hartford area right now and you're on the westbound side of 84, look for delays as you move up on 56 Governor Street up into the area of 47 Security Street, 84 eastbound. You got delays about a half mile before 46 an Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. And another slowdown as you move down by exit 19 down to 17 for the Wilbercross Parkway in Meriden. Northbound side 91, that's slowing, approaching 21 to 22 in the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. After that, you're going to see delays up in Windsor from exit 38 up to the Dexter-Coffin Bridge. We have road work on the Dexter-Coffin in the right and right center lane. Stay left there. Also, there was an accident on the left shoulder up by exit 40, so look out for that. 291 eastbound slowing from I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. 2 westbound a little slow as you merge with 84 West and East Hartford. 9 northbound Middletown tight approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. Heading toward Waterbury, sluggish traffic approaching 26 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound delays from 8 to 9 in Newtown and 10 to 11 in Newtown. If you're traveling northbound Route 8, you've got slow traffic now as you approach exit 15 between 15 and 17 on the Ansonia Seymour line. There's an accident reported there. Southbound Parkway delays from exit 61 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 South New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. The rest of our Friday afternoon becoming sunny, increasingly windy and warm, breaking the record from 1974 with the high of 82, and those west winds at 12 to 25 miles an hour. Tonight, it'll be breezy, otherwise mainly clear and cooler. The low down to 47. Sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and cooler Saturday. That high of 59 will feel quite a bit cooler with that northwest wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour. Mostly sunny, less windy, but cooler Sunday, a high of 56. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
78 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. High right around 80 this afternoon. Mid-40s for the low overnight. Red flag warning remains in effect through 7 tonight. The child who fell from a kayak into the Connecticut River in Haddam last weekend has died. 5-year-old Jackson Podbielski was pulled from the water last Saturday. State environmental officials say he was pronounced dead Wednesday. There's no official cause of death listed yet. An adult in the kayak was not injured. The economy added just 12,000 jobs in October, while the unemployment rate remained low at 4.1%. Damage from hurricanes down south were a factor. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
The 2 hurricanes plus the Boeing strike means that this report is essentially an outlier. We'll have to wait for subsequent reports to see whether those jobs come back online.
A Southington man is dead in a Bridgeport stabbing. Police say 29-year-old Kyle LeBlanc was killed behind a social club this morning. He was most recently living in Stratford. Vice President Harris and Donald Trump both campaigning in the Midwest. They'll both be in Wisconsin. A Trump remark from last night is getting attention.
It was a sit-down with conservative talk show host Tucker Carlson in Arizona.
Liz Cheney, that'd be Dick Cheney's repulsive little daughter, running against you with Kamala Harris.
Donald Trump called Cheney a war hawk.
The reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people.
And suggested she wouldn't have been so eager to send troops to fight if...
Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Cheney, who's been outspoken in her criticism of Trump and his role in the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol attack, says Trump is, quote, a cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Several people shot near Yale at about 2 a.m. New Haven police say it happened on busy Church Street near Center Street. A 19-year-old woman from West Haven is in critical condition at Yale New Haven Hospital. 3 young men suffered non-life-threatening injuries. There's no suspect in custody. A gun was recovered. Israel on the offensive in the Middle East. Airstrikes killed at least 24 people in northeast Lebanon, according to Lebanon's state-run national news agency. Hospital officials say Palestinians recovered the bodies of 25 more people killed in central Gaza. The attacks come despite growing pressure from the U.S. and others for a ceasefire, as CBS's Holly Williams reports from Tel Aviv.
Despite months of diplomacy, the U.S., which is Israel's most important and most powerful ally, has so far been unable to broker a ceasefire and hostage deal to end the Israel-Hamas war or to prevent an escalation between Israel and Hezbollah.
November marks Carbon Monoxide Awareness Month. Connecticut Fire Academy program manager Alan Zigman explains why it's known as a silent killer.
It gets accumulated in the body over time. So sometimes detectors will alarm and people don't feel any different because the carbon monoxide poisoning mimics a lot of flu-type symptoms where you have dizziness, nausea, lightheadedness, or headaches.
General tips include checking your detectors and making sure batteries are fresh. On Wall Street, the Dow at the closing at 288 points in the positive. S&P was plus 23. NASDAQ gained 144 points. Sports, college football, UConn hosting Georgia State. Kickoff just after 7. Celtics in Charlotte. The Rangers host Ottawa. The Wolfpack at Syracuse. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
I think everybody right now who can hear my voice right now, we're going to get the number in the next break. We're going to air a grievance today. We're going to air a grievance real quick. And I think the power of the people who listen to this network, who understand the importance of telling the truth, will agree with me in doing, or join me in doing one thing. I want you, we'll find the number. If you don't have it yourself, if you can't look it up yourself, we'll get you the number. I want you to call the office of Senator Bob Duff. I want you to call the office of Senator Bob Duff. Okay? Just call him. Don't do anything other than what I am asking you to do right now, because everybody asks, there's nothing even remotely coming to the point of harassment or anything irresponsible. This is what I'm asking you to do. Contact his office and simply say, Mr. Duff, Senator Duff, please take down the Drudge Report tweet. It is spreading disinformation and misinformation, and if that's important to you, you should take it down. That's all. If you care about misinformation and disinformation, if you care about people lying online on social media, take down the Drudge Report tweet, because it is mis and disinformation. And if you truly believe that that is spreading and it is lethal to the to the fabric of who we are as a country, take it down. Because what he shared is an absolute lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say it's misinformation or disinformation. It's a lie, Senator Bob Duff, and you know it is. You can't get past the garbage comment, so you're reaching. Take down the Drudge Report tweet. We'll get the number for all of you so you can ask him to do the same thing I just did. Now let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're traveling on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays now coming into Hartford from exit 34 down to 32A and B. And then you're going to see more slow traffic as you move 23 down to 22 in the Route 9 interchange in Cromwell. More delays from approaching 19 down to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91, you got some slow traffic between 20 and 21 as you move Middletown up into Cromwell. After that, easy ride through Hartford. We are seeing delays still approaching exit 40, the Bradley Connector up to the Dexter and Coffin Bridge. Road work in the right and right center lane there. That's the delay. Stay left. If you're traveling westbound 84, you're tied up approaching the Boca Bridge in East Hartford, the 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood into the downtown tunnel. 291 eastbound slowing I-91 over to the Bissell Bridge. If you are traveling to westbound, look for slow traffic approaching the 84 ramps. 9 northbound Middletown slowing Harbor Park up toward the Aragoni Bridge. Heading toward Waterbury, 84 westbound, sluggish traffic approaching 26 in Cheshire into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound Danbury tight 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing 8 to 9 in Newtown. And again, pretty much from approaching 10 up to 11 in Newtown. Southbound on the Parkway, you've got delays from exit 62 down into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound delays 46 in New Haven to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, it's been a breezy but warm day for us, and changes brewing as we make our way into and through the weekend. Breezy tonight, otherwise mainly clear and cooler, the low down to 47. Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, still breezy and much cooler, the high of 59. That northwest wind 10 to 20 miles an hour. Going to knock a solid 5 to 10 degrees off of that temperature at times, so it will feel quite a bit cooler. Less windy, but a little cooler for us on Sunday. Mostly sunny, the high of 56. Monday, cloudy, the high down to 51 for us to kick off the week. Then a nice warm-up as we head into Election Day. Breezy and warmer sunshine mixing with some clouds Tuesday. The high.
Lori, you did notice that.
Dry and pleasant.
I'm very proud of them.
Getting out to the polls on Tuesday. Right now, Danbury at 78. It's 80 in Bridgeport. Let's see, it's 75 in Granby and 80 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
The days are winding down for 2024. With that turn comes the end of your yearly benefits. Columbia Dental reminds you to use them or lose them before they disappear. If you haven't had your teeth cleaned lately, now's the time. One day, same day, 7 days a week. ColumbiaDental.com.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
Tune in to How to Retire with Fuchs Financial.
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
Helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
So you've got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts, and finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Tune in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs, Sundays at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. Odyssey has news that hits home in your local area and around the country. Get local news, traffic, and weather from stations near you. Get national news from CNN, Fox News Radio, and more. And explore the biggest news podcasts like The Daily Punch, Pod Save America, and The Daily, AUDACY. Find all the news that matters to you in a universe of audio. Odyssey.
Prescriptions required online. The provider who will determine if appropriate
Thanks,
restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to Hims. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person.
See, I got my Jets shirt on today, Roland.
You can get world-class
Finally won a game. Now I can wear it.
And I went with Jets every week except yesterday, and that's the one they freaking win. I say, yo, y'all crazy, man.
Right for you.
That's why I don't wear the shirt until after the game. Every time I wear it before, I keep thinking I'm jinxing them.
Maybe.
Your free online visit.
Thank you. That helps.
ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices. Go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
We're back on this airing of grievance Friday on Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Michael A. says, hey, Reese, is the BTR crew going to broadcast on Facebook on Tuesday? I will ask the gentleman if it's okay before we do. In fact, I will text them and ask them if they would like to be on the Reese on the radio stream as well. Plus, I'm bringing some, camera stuff so we can get that done. I will ask them to do that. And I want to thank Michael M. For helping us out. This is the telephone number for Bob Duff, for those of you who haven't found it already, 860-240-0414. Again, 860-240-0414. If you want me to give that number again, just give me a call and let me know. I'll get it to you. Let him know. Senator Bob Duff, please take down the Drudge Report headline. It links to a video that is taken out of context. It doesn't even link to a story because no one's reporting it. And those who are reporting it had to, unfortunately, sort of alter their reporting. It went from seems to suggest to then quoting it accurately, which, again, it's not the old news media, folks. It's not. Those days are over. These things get real-time fact-checked, and there's too many media outlets to pull that stuff on the American people. It just isn't. This isn't the days of Tom Brokaw, Peter Jennings, and Dan Rather, where everybody got their news from 3 sources. There are millions of them now. Okay? Everybody can be fact-checked by the average gumshoe, the average guy, man, with a cell phone and a laptop. So, and I really do, I appreciate everyone's concerned about that. All I care about is not just being accurate, it's just being honest. People will leave us if they can't trust us. Do you understand that? They will leave us if they can't trust us. All of us. I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about all of us. Washington Post, New York Times, all of them. They will leave you if they know that they can't trust you. It's not about your agenda or for your teams. None of that stuff. Now, let's get back to the phones. Ralph, thank you for holding in South Carolina. How are you, sir?
Great, Reese. You and I have talked a few times, and what did I say to you about with the wars? If the people who started the wars had to be in the front line, you wouldn't have them.
Damn sure wouldn't.
And we've said that many times, and she is a big hawk. Her father's a big hawk.
Which, again, which lends itself to his point about why would Kamala Harris, if not a war hawk or a neocon herself, grab what has got to be seen as one of the most despised families in Washington, the Cheneys. Even Jon Stewart was on the Daily Show 2 weeks ago going, do we have to bring in the Cheneys? Like, they are considered the devil incarnate to liberals. They hate Donald Trump so bad that they are willing to sleep with the enemy to liberalism. It makes no sense.
Well, the thing that, too, I guess it should bug every American. I don't care what your political persuasion is. When Kamala Harris comes up and lies about what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the thing that bothers me, and it should bother everybody, is can we ever in our lifetimes find an honest politician?
No. Look, I hope one day that's the case. I hope that there's a politician that comes out and says, I am running on the truth. I will never lie to you. And he proves it in everything that comes out of his mouth, even when he makes a mistake. If we could get that and that guy actually wins, how about this one? This is even better, Ralph. I would like to see that guy run Always tell the truth. Never sugarcoat everything and tell the honest to goodness truth. Never lie. Never fabricate a thing, not even tell a white lie. And then watch the American people reject that person. And then I will say, you never wanted perfection. You never wanted a person who didn't lie, because that would just end the debate.
So you're 100% correct. But the thing, too, is if a politician, whatever office they're running for, said, I will be honest and I will be able to prove everything I'm saying.
Indeed.
I can prove it. And then I'd like to see if he says to your opponent or she says, well, this is what I'm going to do. Everything I say will be provable. How about everything you say? Will you be able to prove it? And I'd like to see what the other side would say.
Indeed. Very good point. Thank you, Ralph. Thanks for holding, sir. Let's go to Fred in Middletown. How are you, sir?
Oh, hey.
Fred, what did I say? Did I get a word wrong today?
Well, yes. However, it's redundant to say that you did, because absolutely everyone makes this mistake.
Oh, okay. All right.
You said, from my experiences, drop the S. Experience, from my experience,
okay, yeah.
everything you ever experienced in your life.
Okay. From my experiences is right, because we're putting a plural on experience. It doesn't need one.
That's right.
Oh,
you could say I had an experience. I experienced that once, but in general, from my experience, that doesn't happen. Yeah, everybody does.
And you know why? I'll tell you why. It's almost like it's not knee jerk, but what's the term for it? It's not a knee jerk reaction, but I guess is it a muscle memory of sorts that you're?
It's just a mistake. That's all.
Is it just a mistake? Okay. I think because experience sort of sounds like you can only have one of them, and when you're talking about several, you must put an S on it.
Stop. People just slap S's everywhere. Everyone does it.
Okay, all right. But thank you. It's good. It's impulsive. That's the word, Michael. I have an impulse to do it.
Rule of language: never use two words when one will do as well, and never use a bigger when a smaller will do as well. I deliberately go the opposite of that because I just like to lavish in words.
You like words?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was born to talk. Real quick, Morgan Cunningham. Okay, well, I'm going to quote him.
Mm-hmm.
Where rioters gathered before storming the Capitol building in an effort to overturn the 2020 election. Yeah, he's just a stenographer for the, Pfizer news feed. Please.
I don't think. Look, I understand that was something, and it bothers me. I get it. Yeah. It's commonplace to reference an event in a certain way because I hear all of these people using the word insurrection, right? Every news media was the insurrection. And then when you say to them, okay, give me the person charged with insurrection. And then they went to the Oath Keepers. And they go, what about the Oath Keepers? And I'm like, no charges of insurrection. Nope. There was conspiracy and sedition. No insurrection charges.
Yeah, conspiracy to commit vandalism. Real quick, one line from my poem. One fellow stole a lectern, another thumped his hairy chest, and yet another purportedly took a dump on Nancy Pelosi's desk, Please. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Much appreciated, sir. That's, I learned this a long time ago, and I love when Fred does it. It puts me in this place where I can reflect, and I go, okay, good. Can't do that. Have to work on that. Have to be better than that. Hey, let's go to Nate in Lakeville. Lakeville? Yeah, Lakeville.
Hey, how are you?
How are you doing, Nate?
Good. I didn't even know how you got my name that fast. Sorry. Reese, I just wanted to tell you, I was an independent voter.
Okay.
And I tuned into your show. And do you remember when, I don't want to say school was the correct terminology, but you put a political whooping on Reggie one day. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course I do.
That changed my mind about everything, and you were so factually correct about all of your things. I fact-checked you, and then I double fact-checked you, and I just want to say thank you because you changed my mind about a lot of things, and I've tuned into your radio station ever since then, and you're an amazing guy. I just want to say thank you, and God bless you and your family. And I'm voting red this year, so thank you again.
Thank you, Nate. Wow, I totally appreciate that. Please follow me on Facebook or Rumble or wherever it is that you go on social media if that's your thing. And I really appreciate you joining the show. And I it's not so much that even if I got you to change your mind, and that's wonderful, thank you. I appreciate that. But if there's anything that a person like me or someone who's in this business thrives from, is at least inform people to a point where they can see not just our point of view, but they can establish that point of view in a way that makes you go out and think and find that information for yourself. That, like I said to Reggie, and I think that's what motivated you, was to say, when Reggie said that, how come that information isn't out there? And I said, you keep leaving it up to others to find the news or find the information. It's your job. It's not their responsibility. It's yours. And you did exactly what I said. And look how you come out on the other side. So that, if there's anything that I get from that or learn from that, is those words are more powerful than just arguing with people who disagree with you. So I appreciate you, and thank you, Nate. Did we lose it? Did he leave? Okay, well, he hung up. Okay, well, I was hoping to exchange with him a little more. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. How are you, Dan?
Good. How you doing today?
I'm all right, sir. What you got for me?
Well, I love the second gentleman back when he likes to correct you and things. That's pretty funny when he does it.
I love Fred.
But I always love it. I always correct everyone. People use one term wrong every time.
Did I use it today?
Says, no.
Okay.
I don't know. I just got on recently. I just got out of work. But when someone says, I could care less.
Me
how
too.
How much more can you care less? You could care less. How much more? Tell me how much. The statement is, I couldn't care less.
Right. And you know what, Dan? Listen to me. I'm glad you brought that up, because I'll say that term, or I'll hear someone use it, and even when I'm about to say it, I was like, you know what? Couldn't care less. I have to catch myself all the time.
And just remember, he said, you were putting the S's on the end of words, so people are dropping S's all over the place. Well, just be careful, because if you ever meet him in person, he might want to slap the S out of you.
I hope Fred is not like that. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it, sir. Hey, and don't forget, man.
Have a good weekend.
You too, sir. You too. Don't forget, folks, we're still taking the call, airing of grievances, so make sure you give us a call. If you've got a grievance to air today, no matter what it is, I'm expecting to hear from, of course, my 2-3 favorite people today who call up. Dan says, Warhawks unite with other Warhawks. It's really that simple. They are aligned in the defense industry. They are. And they are not they're not fans of Donald Trump. Because, again, he believes that if the military is going to be used for anything, it should be used when we are attacked. And he understands the fact that we need a military and a strong military, but it's not that we need to use the strength of that military to just go around the world and police it. And that's something, again, that I don't understand, that many people I grew up with, people on the left, they used to say that all the time. Why we got to police the world? Why we got to tell everybody what to do? That's our problem. We use our strength and our brute strength, and we make everybody else poor and more fearful. And here's Donald Trump coming in and says, yeah, I agree. But he wants to be a tyrant. It just makes no sense to me. It doesn't. It doesn't. But again, I'm happy now. I'm happier now with the fact that there are more and more people pushing back on this narrative, and the news media is starting to recognize we've had enough. You don't have to work at the Washington Post. As Hugh Hewitt displayed today, he just bounced. He just says, I can't do this anymore. You folks are never going to change. And he probably did the right thing by getting off that sinking ship, because they're never going to let them get it right. That's the reason why everybody's upset. 250,000 subscriptions gone. People are leaving the LA Times. Why? Because they wouldn't endorse their favorite candidate? Because they wouldn't be the bias that they claim doesn't exist? That's the reason why they're jumping ship? Fine, bounce. See how many people are going to check you out on your private ventures. You're not. You're going to go crawling back to those companies, hoping that they'll give you your job back, and you'll try to be a little down the middle. Just isn't working. And no one trusts you. That's the other part that I keep reiterating. No one trusts you. Every time you start it took you 7 years. Was it 7? It feels like 7. It had to have been 7 years to acknowledge the lie that was very fine people. The reason Joe Biden says he got into the race was based on a lie. And look what that got you. It's amazing. We'll be back. More news, more views when we return. Nate Silver calling out the lies, too, in polling. We'll get to that soon, too. So stick around. Let's now get another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're traveling on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Another bump by 23 West Street and Rocky Hill. More slow traffic 19 to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91 slows between 20 and 21. A slight slowdown there as you move Middletown into Cromwell. After that, good ride. Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound locked up 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 eastbound's a little slow. I-91 over to the Bissell. 2 westbound is moving slow from exit 4 to the 84 West merge. 2 eastbound's heavy coming off of Route 2 out to exit 5. Heading toward Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound in Cheshire, delays approaching 26 up to exit 22 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound is slowing in Danbury from exit 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound, you've got slow traffic from exit 9 up to exit 11 in Newtown. If you're traveling southbound on the Parkway, look for delays 63 in North Haven down to 60 in Hamden. South 95 New Haven slowing 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Alice Shattuck, and I've lost 70 pounds since having my 5th baby a year ago. It's all thanks to Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and you can do it too. Just book your first appointment today by calling 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon continuing to become sunny, increasingly windy. Temperature breaking the record from 1974 with a high of 82. Those west winds 12 to 25 miles an hour. They will subside some tonight, but it's breezy, otherwise mainly clear and cooler. The low down to 47. Sunny to partly cloudy Saturday, breezy and cooler. That high of 59 will feel significantly cooler with that northwest wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Mostly sunny and cool on Sunday, but less windy, a high of 56. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
77 degrees in Hartford at 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Earlier, 84 degrees in Hartford set a new record for the date. A red flag warning remains in effect through 7. The battle against dozens of wildfires across the state continues. It's been a windy day, and that's a challenge, according to State Emergency Management Regional Coordinator Josh Singranelli.
That wind actually drives the fire and it adds more oxygen to the fire. So it allows the fire to quickly spread. It makes it harder to manage when conditions are like this.
The audio from WFSB, crews are still trying to mop up the Hawthorne fire in Berlin, which burned more than 100 acres. It started 12 days ago. The child who fell from a kayak into the Connecticut River in Haddam last weekend has died. 5-year-old Jackson Podbielski was pulled from the water last Saturday. State environmental officials say he was pronounced dead Wednesday. There's no official cause of death listed yet. An adult in the kayak was uninjured. Just 12,000 jobs added in the U.S. in October, a disappointing report. Damage from hurricanes down south and the Boeing strike bear part of the blame. Dakin Vanderberg of Mass Mutual is not concerned given the wider employment picture.
We've got a close to record low unemployment. When you go back over 50 or 60 years, things are actually quite good. This number is not, but taken in context of the fact that it's noisy and we've lost a lot from the hurricane and the labor strikes, I think things are still in quite a good place.
Several people shot near the Yale campus at about 2 a.m. at the end of the night's Halloween revelry. New Haven police say there was an exchange of gunfire on busy Church Street near Center Street. A 19-year-old woman from West Haven is in critical condition at Yale New Haven Hospital. 3 young men suffered non-life-threatening injuries. A gun was recovered on the scene. Police say one suspect is in custody. A Southington man is dead in a Bridgeport murder. Police say 29-year-old Kyle LeBlanc was stabbed to death behind a social club this morning. He was most recently living in Stratford. They say they're following substantial leads in the case. On Wall Street, the Dow closed up 289 points. S&P was plus 23. The Nasdaq gained 144. Sports, college football, UConn hosting Georgia State in East Hartford. Kickoff just after 7 p.m. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
WTIC News Talk 1080 and Thomaston Savings Bank remind you to turn your clocks back 1 hour this Saturday night.
Take a moment and think of one thing you really wanted to do recently, but you didn't because your foot, leg, or back pain got in the way. Hi, this is Mike with the Good Feet Store. Well, you're not alone. We hear it all the time. Folks are fed up with living with pain that's keeping them from doing what they love, and they look to us at the Good Feet Store for a solution. And that's why we're here, to help get you back out there. Good Feet arch supports, which you can only get at the Good Feet Store, are designed to alleviate and even eliminate foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Plus, they provide improved balance, more comfort, and, well, just a better life. We'd like to help you turn your pain into possibilities with a free fitting at the Good Feet Store. You'll be personally fit by an arch support specialist, and you'll get to walk around and see how Good Feet arch supports feel. Then you can decide if they're right for you. For over 30 years, the Good Feet Store has been helping people get back to doing the things they love without their feet getting in the way. Stop in today at the Good Feet Store in Avon, across from Whole Foods, or visit goodfeet.com.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore. One subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows. And save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC+. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit TV and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's PHILO.TV.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We are back. News Talk 1080 WTIC. When we get back after traffic, Nate Silver is probably one of the biggest polling gurus out there. And I'm a big polling data guy. In fact, let me just warn everybody right now, okay? After this election, Reese on the Radio is going wall-to-wall polls. I'm going to take every bit. I'm already saving. I'm screenshotting. I've got everything. I'm keeping a tab of every tabulator or polling guy, Kornacki to Harry Enton at CNN, everything they said about every state, I'm keeping it. I'm making sure that I put a handle on all of it so that after the election, I am literally going to itemize all of them. This date, that date, this way, this poll, that poll, every one of them. Because what Nate Silver says here is exactly what I've been saying for the longest. And it's crazy because, you know, and we've talked about this before. Joe and Simsbury and Patty, even Kim for that matter, I almost feel sometimes like this kindred spirit with them because we just don't take that stuff on faith value. Like there's something that's gnawing at us. It's just going, no. I can't, nope, can't accept it. Just, it defies logic. And I get that about them. That's why I love it when they call. As I love all of you, don't get me wrong. Just, they have a particular knack for this stuff that I really, really like and appreciate. But that I didn't even turn the camera on. The thing that I keep hearing in all this stuff, and I just go, this doesn't make sense. This polling data doesn't make sense. And they're saying it right in front of us. The crazy part, and again, the 60-minute interview, which, by the way, Donald Trump is suing CBS for, and God bless him for that one. They were saying that that interviewer, and why am I forgetting his name? But anyway, he says to Kamala Harris that a quarter, if not more, I think he said more, of the voting public have no idea who you are. You know, they're not familiar with you, which in my view makes no sense. We're looking at a guy who's got at least over 100% name recognition in Donald Trump. He is the most famous person, not politician, person on the globe. Kamala Harris, a virtual unknown, is telling me that this guy's polling, but they don't know who you are, and yet you're polling dead even with him? Come on. I'll explain that when we get back. Now, for another check of the traffic, let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Southbound 91, Hartford slowing 34 down to 32 A and B. Another bump down by exit 28. And you'll slow again as you move down 19 to 17 for the Wilbur Cross Parkway in Meriden. Northbound 91's a little slow between 20 and 21. After that, Road Ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound side of 84 slowing 56 Governor Street out to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound slows about a half mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 eastbound slowing on 91 over to the Bissell. 2 eastbound slowing coming off of I-84 out to exit 5. If you are traveling 9 northbound, Middletown slowing Harbor Park to the Ariconi Bridge. 84 westbound delays 26 in Cheshire up to 22 in Waterbury. 84 eastbound's a little tight, 18 to the Mixmaster. Again, losing speed going down the big hill in Cheshire between 26 and the 691 interchange. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 3 to 5. 84 eastbound again tight from exit 8 in Danbury up to 9, again 10 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway, look out for an accident by exit 62. Delays are approaching 63 behind it. Southbound on the Parkway as you move North Haven into Hamden. South 95 New Haven slows 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. It's been another beautiful day to round out the week, but notably cooler making our way through the weekend. Breezy tonight, clear and cooler, that low down to 47, then sunny to partly cloudy. Breezy for us on Saturday. The high of 59 will feel quite a bit cooler with that busy northwest wind at 10 to 20 miles an hour sustained throughout the day. Sunday, less windy, a little cooler, mostly sunny, the high of 56. Cloudy on Monday, the high down to 51, but a warm-up on the way as we head toward the middle of the week. Breezy and warmer Tuesday, sunshine mixing with some clouds. No problems with the weather for getting out and making your voice heard Tuesday, the high of 71. Mostly sunny and warm on Wednesday, the high of 75. Right now, it's 75 in Waterbury, New Haven at 81, New London 72, 73 now in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
2 items, 1 deal on McDonald's breakfast. Pair up your favorites. Any size iced coffee, sausage or chicken McGriddles, and sausage biscuit for $3.99. Price and participation may vary. Single item at regular price.
On Tuesday, people across the state and nation will cast their vote. And when the polls close, WTIC News Talk 1080 will have complete local coverage of the state and presidential races. Ryan Shackman, Tom Shattuck, and Reese will discuss the polling results with experts. Who will win the key races in Connecticut? Who will be our next president? Our coverage begins at 6. Tune in for your trusted local election night coverage. Only on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We know you're uncertain.
Hold on a minute.
Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
Me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out. I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything. Have you tried Shopping Jewelry Television, JTV? I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles. Artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even... I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax? Yes. Another round? Yes.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
Give us a call, 860-522-WTIC, with the airing of your grievance, if you got one. Also, later on in the show, we're going to talk about Gavin Newsom. Now, folks, I never, ever do Gavin Newsom news on this network unless I think it is relevant to our good friend, Governor Ned Lamont. And I don't know if you heard this story in California, but mark my words, you are going to see something very similar happen here in the Nutmeg State. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So, as I said before the break, Nate Silver, one of the foremost pollsters in the country, was on some podcast. I don't know. I don't care which one it was. But he was talking about pollsters, these pollsters. He seems to be very, very concerned about everyone saying that this race is so close. It's only by 1 point. 1 point here, half a point there, 1.5 points there. None of it seems to make sense. There's a little bit of bleeping I had to put out because he uses the F-bomb a lot. But he's talking in there, and again, this guy is the guru, okay, of polling. And this is what he had to say. You have to catch it at the beginning of what he says the real polling data says about this election. All right? Listen close.
It's basically 55-45 Trump, or 54-45 with a small chance of a tie. It's been a little weird. I mean, look, it's gradually drifted to Trump over actually a fairly long period now. I mean, 2 out of every 3 days, Harris has lost ground in the forecast since roughly early October. It looks like it's stabilized a bit. Maybe I don't think we're gonna learn very much in this last week of the polling. In fact, I kind of trust pollsters less. Every time a pollster, every state is just a +1. Every single state's a tie. No, you're fucking hurting. You're cheating. Your numbers aren't all going to come out at exactly 1 point leads when you're sampling 800 people over dozens of surveys. You are lying. You're putting a fucking finger on the scale. I will not name names, but some pollsters are really bad about this. Emerson College.
So you heard what he said. Emerson College, these people are lying. They're repeating they're getting the same numbers from the same polls, different polls every week, and coming up with the same numbers. It doesn't make sense. And he says what the real numbers are, if you can listen in the beginning, I'll play it again. He's saying that they're dire for Kamala Harris. And this is again, the true metric of what Kamala Harris and Democrats and everyone else is doing. You remember when they talk about the internals? They know what they are. And the numbers, again, we're talking a 10 to 9 point lead.
It's basically 55-45.
55 to 45.
Trump, or 54-45 with a small chance of a tie.
A small chance of it. Those are the real numbers. No one's going to tell that. No one's going to say that anywhere in the mainstream news. They need it to be 1 point. Because that gets, it's not about so much as getting their people, ginned up, but it's to keep people and eyeballs in these newspapers or on these television shows. Oh, it's tight. Wow, she's got a shot. No. And I know everybody wants it to be that tight because they think that's exciting, but it isn't truthful. Now, back to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. White Mike is in Florida. How we doing, sir?
Hey, man. So it's been kind of a long day for me. I had to bring my elderly mother to the surgery center this morning to have orthoscopic meniscus repair.
Damn.
And she's fine. But as I'm sitting in the waiting room, they have local CBS station on, Channel 10, WTIC.
Okay.
And every commercial break was vote yes on Amendment 4, which is the Florida changing the abortion law to be more lenient law amendment. And Kamala Harris wants to preserve your right to choose over and over again.
Okay.
They are browbeating these broads with you're not going to be able to abort your child if you make a mistake.
Wow.
And women are going to vote for Kamala Harris in huge numbers. They wouldn't be spending the money on these ads if they didn't think that was a smart play.
Now you think Florida's going to be contested?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that women across the country are going to turn out to vote for her, and she's going to show better in Florida than people think she is.
Gotcha.
And of course, Democrats always do well in the Florida cities. Always.
Yep.
Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando are always Democrats. And, young women apparently are terrified that they're going to have to face the consequences of their actions for being promiscuous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
They
it.
don't want to
Very
face the
obvious.
consequences.
They believe, again, no, I was going to say that they believe that pregnancy is a condition that you come down with.
Well, look, buddy, I don't want to toot my own horn, okay, but I was an attractive man for a very long time. I was fit. I had hair. I was charming and funny. I stacked up a pretty good body count. My body count is pretty solid. I knocked anybody up. Not once.
Not once.
Okay? And I was not choosy. I was willy-nilly. Nobody got pregnant on my watch. You know why? Because I wrapped up, buddy. That's why. And it's not difficult to not get people pregnant. It's not rocket science.
I know.
There's a physical barrier between your hole and her hole, and nothing gets through. It's not complicated. So I don't get these hooers who think they can go out and be promiscuous on no birth control and think they're going to be, exempt from biology. It's your fault. And yes, ladies, if you're listening to me, you're all upset. Yes,
Change when you high and drunk, though.
responsibility because you bear the consequences.
That's correct.
Don't have sex with a man who's not using a condom.
That's right. It's
Are
always right.
you on birth control? It's your responsibility. And don't tell me you didn't know. What are you, some drunken bimbo who gets hammered and can't tell if there's a latex-covered member in you or not? No, it's your responsibility. And this, again, is why women shouldn't vote.
Thank you, Mike. Jesus, man. But no, I will agree with him. I will agree with him wholeheartedly on the point is, as I do say this about the, and again, you always get the pushback and they go, well, what about the girls who are being assaulted? I'm like, no one is talking about them. If you didn't hear them, we didn't say it. That's exactly what that. He says, commentary says, I disagree with White Mike. Dems waste money on ish that doesn't work all the time. You're going to have to explain that one to me, commentary. Let's go to Patty. Hey, Patty, I talked you up, didn't I? How are you?
Hi, Reese. Thanks for putting me on, too. Appreciate you taking the call. Just in regards to the last one, offer ultrasounds to those women, too. You might find that those numbers go way down.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is there is a lot of birth control out there. I mean, the man is correct on that. But I will also say it's in the States. It's not up to President Trump.
That's right.
So they're just manipulating it. It's in the States.
Right.
I don't know if you saw this or not, and I want to be sure that you did. We were talking about President Trump with the military.
Yes.
The Pentagon issued a federal directive. Do you know that's 5240.001?
Yes, I am aware of it.
Yep, and allows use lethal force against Americans. And then there was a tape also, one with James Carville. Also, he had his opinions of what should happen to the Trump voters after the election. So it's just...
Wait a minute, James Carville has a tape that says what should happen to Trump voters afterwards, not the Jamie Raskin video. We're talking about...
No.
Oh, okay.
Go on Leo Hohmann.
Okay, I know who he is. Yeah.
HOHMANN.com.
Mhm.
Look at his articles. They're fabulous. He is actually a journalist. I followed him for over 20 years.
Mhm.
He's fabulous. You'll see more on there. He's got one about surveillance. He's got one about James Carville. He had this 5240.01 that RFK Jr. actually commented on. You find a lot of truth on that side, and he's always early on the journalism.
Okay.
I've never seen him wrong in 20 years. But notice what the left says. No one should be citing in violence on any side, to be honest with you. We want free and fair elections. And I sure hope your guy is right, too. It's hard to believe the numbers that they're telling us, to be honest with you, because the momentum is with Donald Trump. But, to be honest with you, I want to be sure there's no one voting in our elections, only the people who are Americans who should be voting in the
Indeed.
elections.
I think,
That's
look,
my concern.
I truly do believe, Patty, that, look, there are a lot of lessons to be learned from 2020 and what we've known about Donald Trump, and I think the people who work with him and why they work with him so well is that he adapts to things in a way that's unheard of. Like, he understands that, look, I may have gone into 2020 behind the eight ball, so to speak, trying to, sort of paddle uphill. But I think now, since he understands what they're doing and how they're doing it, I think his ground game, because remember, his winning of 2016 was not just unfathomable. It was, the calculation was impossible, all things considered. The machine was behind who can only be described as the most formidable politician in history outside of Barack Obama, who beat her. You know what I mean? So, and the way in which he's...
We all go vote,
yeah.
We all go vote, and your guy's numbers are right.
Yep.
Then he's going to get those extra few percentages that would actually take care of anything that actually wasn't quite up to snuff.
I think that Donald Trump is going to...
knows-
Yeah, I think Donald Trump is playing, although he might be concerned about the popular vote in some way, because I think that's just ego, but it would be nice. I'm almost certain. I'll just put it this way. It'd be nice to get the popular vote as well as, of course, the Electoral College, because that's the most important.
Yep.
But for me, and I look at this like I said, I look at this like I'm watching football or baseball for that matter. The numbers matter to me, because if indeed he were to win the popular vote, it would say a lot about the electorate. You know what I mean? It says something about the country.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So thank you.
We don't want New York and California deciding our elections.
Hey,
in the future,
exactly. And it'd be nice to win.
Yeah.
Listen, if we could win, look, I know California is out of reach, but you know what? Imagine if New York were contested.
Wouldn't that be great?
Exactly. Like, people who were like wonks for this stuff would be, holy crap. You know what I mean? Like, that would be groundbreaking for us.
That's home to him. That's his home. It's his love. So, a lot of people came out, Reese.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you, Patty. Let's go to George in St. Louis. How we doing, George?
Hi, Reese. I don't like being robbed.
Me either.
I don't like being robbed by the federal legislature. Here, let me give you a sequence of events. First, they create climate change. Then they create the companies that build the solar panels and wind turbines. The legislature gets cutbacks in stocks from that. Then they charge, by the way, they only run 1/3 of the time, solar panels, wind turbines, and they charge 3 times the price for electricity over everything else. They get cutbacks on the high price electric charges as well. I don't like being robbed. I don't like being robbed by the federal legislature. They pulled the same stunt with Moderna and Pfizer and all of through COVID. They got cutbacks on all of that.
So many people did. So many people got their pockets lined.
Yeah. So you know what? The federal legislature are crooks. When you go to the polls, just remember they're getting cutbacks on all of the functions, everything that you buy, and all of your necessities, and some of the fraud that same legislature creates. They're crooks. They're crooks.
Can we all just kind of take a deep breath and just say to ourselves, if you pray, and by the way, if you have a higher power, pray to him. If it's not God, if it's not Jesus Christ, just pray. Just say, imagine. Hold on.
I'm waiting for Musk to get in there.
Yeah, right. The Department of the Department. What is it? Department of. Oh God, why am I? Forget it. Everybody sometimes gives it. They give it to me in the chat room, and I forget it again. but government oversight or something like that. Doge government efficiency. Department of Government Efficiency. I want to everybody to just take a breath. close your eyes and pray to your higher power. If it's God or Jesus Christ, pray to them and just say, imagine a world, my dear God, where we finally get an administration that goes after not just the corruption, but the waste, fraud, and abuse of the federal government, where our tax dollars are finally going to pay for things that we want and we ask for.
Robbery.
Yeah.
Let's put it.
Yeah, robbery.
Yeah.
Indeed, George. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. And can't wait to talk to you next week on Election Day, because I'm sure that everybody will be calling about that. Timmy, he's not family friendly, but you know what? This radio show is not on Nickelodeon, sir. It's just not. We're adults. We're grown folks here. Absolutely. So, what are you going to do? All right, when we come back, top of the hour. And, of course, your phone calls. If you got an airing of grievance, do it at 860-522-WTIC. What Governor Gavin Newsom is doing in California, how soon do we see it replicated here in Connecticut? And would you want it to happen here in Connecticut? If you haven't heard the story, stick around. We'll tell you when we return. Now let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher, the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're 91 southbound, delays Hartford 33 down to 32 A and B, and again down by exit 28. You've got delays as you move down from 24 down to 23 in Rocky Hill. We have a multi-vehicle accident in the left lane just after exit 23. Stay to the right there. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell through downtown, and a good ride up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound delays from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. If you're traveling to eastbound, you're slowing off of I-84 out to exit 5. If you're traveling right now into Middletown, 9 northbound, you've got delays Harbor Park up toward the Aragoni Bridge. 691 westbound is slowing from 7 up to exit 8B. The ramp to 84 west. Looks like there's an accident on that ramp. 84 westbound, you've got delays now from 30 in Southington up to the 691 interchange. 84 eastbound in Cheshire slowing, approaching 26 down to the 691 interchange. 84 eastbound Danbury tight 3 to 5. Again, 84 eastbound slowing from 9 in Newtown up to exit 11 in Newtown. South 95 is running slow in New Haven, 46 down to 43. And if you are traveling southbound on the Parkway, look out for an accident down by exit 62. You've got delays approaching 63 in North Haven behind that problem. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC. Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon continuing to become sunny, increasingly windy. Temperature breaking the record from 1974 with a high of 82. Those west winds 12 to 25 miles an hour. They will subside some tonight, but it's breezy, otherwise mainly clear and cooler. The low down to 47. Sunny to partly cloudy Saturday, breezy and cooler. That high of 59 will feel significantly cooler with that northwest wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Mostly sunny and cool on Sunday, but less windy, a high of 56. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and throwing a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
74 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. We set a record high of 84 degrees earlier. A red flag warning remains in effect through 7 tonight. Police in New Haven now say there was an exchange of gunfire when 4 people were shot near Yale at about 2 a.m. One suspect is in custody, according to Police Chief Carl Jacobson.
There was some kind of breach or back and forth between 2 groups, it seems like, and then someone pulled out a gun and then somebody returned fire. And unfortunately, again, one of those guns was a high-capacity magazine, leading to more people being struck.
The audio from WFSB, it happened on Church Street. A 19-year-old woman from West Haven is in critical condition. 3 young men suffered non-life-threatening injuries. A child who fell from a kayak into the Connecticut River in Haddam last weekend has died. 5-year-old Jackson Podbielski was pulled from the water last Saturday. State environmental officials say he was pronounced dead Wednesday. There's no official cause of death listed yet. An adult in the kayak was uninjured. Donald Trump and Vice President Harris will both be in Milwaukee. Harris now says language used by Trump last night is disqualifying for anyone who wants to be president. Appearing with Tucker Carlson in Arizona, he appeared to suggest his rival Liz Cheney should face a firing squad.
Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Critics say the comments show again Trump would violently target his critics if elected. On Twitter, Cheney writes, quote, "This is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death." Kamala Harris added this afternoon.
I think that Liz Cheney is courageous and that we will always make sure that we are all fighting against and speaking out against any form of political violence.
Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays is investigating Trump's comment for whether it qualifies as a death threat under state law. The Southington man is dead in a Bridgeport murder. Police say 29-year-old Kyle LeBlanc was stabbed to death behind a social club this morning. They say they're following substantial leads in the case. Get ready for the big clock change Sunday morning. Set it back 1 hour. Dr. Jennifer Kanan of UConn Health works in sleep medicine. She says it's a good time to review your sleep routine. She does not advise an extra nap this weekend.
What it oftentimes can do is throw off your sleep schedule and your sleep routine. We notice it a lot with teenagers. They get home from school, they're a little bit tired, they take a nap, and then when it comes time to go to bed at night, they're not sleepy. And that can happen to other people as well, including adults or small children. So we generally try to keep naps to a minimum.
Kanan says sleep deprivation is common and it's something to address because of its negative effect on health and safety. The economy added just 12,000 jobs in October, while the unemployment rate remained low at 4.1%. CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
This report was plagued by hurricanes Helene and Milton. In addition to devastating wide swaths of the southeast, prior to the landfall of both storms, there were large-scale evacuations, which probably pushed down job creation dramatically in the area.
The jobs report also impacted by the Boeing strike. Workers there will vote on a new deal next week.
The latest offer from Boeing includes a 38% wage increase and a $12,000 bonus if ratified. Many machinists on the picket line say they'll still vote no on the deal, and they're ready to continue their strike.
I knew the strike was coming, and I prepared for it, so I'm going to reject it.
Union leaders fear if workers do reject the deal, future proposals will offer less. Luke Ducey for CBS News, Seattle.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 289, S&P climbed 23, the NASDAQ was up 145. Sports, college football tonight, 7 p.m., UConn hosting Georgia State. NBA, the Celtics in Charlotte. NHL, the Rangers host Ottawa. The Wolfpack at Syracuse. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll get nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090.
Oh, yeah, you heard that right.
800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. Grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
We're back, Reese on the Radio, 5 o'clock or just after 5 here. Yes, Julie B is in the chat room. She says, did this guy just say that they're investigating Trump's comments? Comments as a death threat? Is anybody even investigating the 2 freaking assassination attempts? Looks like they care about Liz Cheney and Donald Trump's mean words than they do about the fact that he was actually almost killed. Yeah, indeed. That's oh man. Lisa B says, as a woman, I find the Democratic message insulting. I have to vote behind my husband's back. I came from a family that's politically divided, but the males don't dictate who we vote for. I find it insulting that Harris believes that women are so stupid that they believe the only important issue is abortion. Abortion is not birth control. It's not for poor choices. I stand with Trump because I'm worried about the economy, immigration, and protection of our family, or protection of our family from war. Can you imagine Harris sitting across the table from Putin? Every woman I know asked that question, Lisa. Every woman. My wife even says that. She goes, I can't see this woman standing in front of Putin. She can't coherently speak, let alone defend us. Heaven help us. Yeah, just pray. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. As I said, Gavin Newsom is doing something interesting. And he's signing an executive order that has to do with electric bills in California. And I'm sorry, look, I'm not trying to say that the guy's a copycat and can't come up with his own ideas, but he models himself after Gavin Newsom in California. Yes, I do believe that Ned Lamont is going to run as Gavin's running mate in 2028. Yes, I do. I stand by that. I stand by that theory. But we'll talk about it. Newsom's executive orders to cure the electric bill problem in California. How soon till Ned Lamont follows his lead? Is that good news? Is it something that people will respond to in a positive way? Or is he doing it so he can curry favor and look like Gavin Newsom? Hey, look, I'm trying to solve people's energy problems. We'll get to that in a second. 860-522-WTIC. Now, another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're traveling on the southbound side of I-91, look for delays coming into Hartford, 33 down to 32 A and B, and then it got slow traffic again from just after 25 S&N in Wethersfield down to just after exit 23 West Street in Rocky Hill. We have an accident in the left lane there. That's a delay. Stay right. Northbound 91's a little slow between 20 and 21 as you move Middletown into Cromwell. After that, good ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to exit 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound slows from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 eastbound's a little heavy over the Bissell Bridge. 2 eastbound slowing off of I-84 out to exit 5. Heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 691 westbound, look for delays approaching exit 7 up to exit 8B. The ramp that takes you to 84 west. Looks like we have an accident just west of the 691 interchange. Delays back to exit 30 in Southington behind that. 84 eastbound in Cheshire slowing, approaching and getting by exit 26. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing by exit 3. Delays again, 84 eastbound from exit 8 out to exit 11 in Newtown. If you are traveling southbound in the Wilvercross Parkway, an accident down by exit 62. Delays approaching exit 63 in North Haven behind that. And that accident down by exit 62 is blocking the left lane. Stay right. 95 South New Haven slowing from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. Well, tonight it'll be mainly clear and cooler, the low down to 48, sunny to partly cloudy as we head into the day on Saturday. A much cooler weekend than we've been used to the last couple of days, the high of 59 with a northwest wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour Saturday. It's going to feel quite a bit cooler, low to mid-50s at best, mostly sunny. Sunday, the high of 56, a lot less wind for us though, so it'll feel a little bit better. Cloudy on Monday, the high of 55 before a nice rebound as we head toward the middle of the week. Breezy and warmer Tuesday for Election Day. No problems with the weather for getting out to the polls. Sunshine and mixing with some clouds, the high 75. Mostly sunny, still warm on Wednesday, the high of 77. Meriden 75, Danbury also 75, Waterbury at 72. It's 72 at Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
WTIC News Talk 1080 and Thomaston Savings Bank remind you to turn your clocks back 1 hour this Saturday night.
Can Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots take the momentum from their win on Sunday and get a streak going? This week they meet up with Will Levi and the Tennessee Titans. It's a big matchup in Nashville. Remember, when you're out and about and you can't watch the game, you can listen right here. Patriots, Titans, pregame at noon, kickoff at 1. Tomorrow on your home for New England Patriots football, WTIC News Talk 1080.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Do you have three current trophy
Thank you.
wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with.
Here we go.
Big Lou at
Thanks, sir.
800-511-3535.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
We're back, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We'll take your phone calls in a second. It's Reese on the Radio on this airing of grievance Friday. So Governor Gavin Newsom, what's he doing? He has signed or issuing an executive order on the rising electric bills in his state of California. The question is how much it will help. Here's the story. This is from the San Diego Union Tribune. You can find it online. Governor Gavin Newsom issued an executive order Wednesday aimed at finding ways to reduce rising electricity bills that beleaguered customers pay each month. Although the order did not offer specific dollar figures and timetables, one of the major drivers of higher bills comes from the spending by the state's investor-owned utilities, such as San Diego Gas and Electric, on programs to reduce the risk of wildfires. Now, that program is called, by the way, SDG&E. They've spent about $5 billion in ratepayer money since the deadly Wild Creek and Rice fires in 2007. You remember that. It destroyed more than 1,300 homes and killed 2 people and injured 40 firefighters. Newsom's executive order calls for smarter wildlife mitigation investments by directing state regulators to evaluate utility oversight and ensure that spending is focused on cost-effective measures. The order also calls on the California Public Utilities Commission to identify underperforming programs and return any unused money to utility customers through credits on their bills. Ask the Utilities Commission to review the cost of regulations of various programs, pursue federal funding options to help lower electric bills, and directs California's Energy Commission to look at cost-saving measures, and also instructs the California Air Resources Board to find ways to increase the California climate credit that utility customers receive 2 times a year. Now, these all seem, I guess, reasonable, unless, of course, we see what the numbers are. In essence, look, we're spending a lot of money on these other things, which is, in essence, affecting ratepayers' utility bills. We're saying you got to pay for this, that, and a third, and where is the money being used? Or is the money that's being used, is it useful? And again, that's one of the biggest problems with Eversource, is that how much money is being used on things that no one asked for, like money going to the Connecticut Green Bank, for starters. And we're talking about the billions of dollars that are going anywhere and everywhere else for things that people don't use. So I don't know if Ned Lamont is hearing this. I'm sure he does. He models everything after California. And he's a big fan of Gavin Newsom. So, I don't know if it'll happen. Do you think it'll help? You just let me know. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Another part of this, it says SDG&E customers received their most recent climate credit earlier this month, seeing an automatic bill reduction of $78.22 in their October bill. Funding comes from money generated by the state's cap-and-trade program that requires power plants, natural gas providers, and large industries to emit greenhouse gases to buy permits on the carbon pollution they produce. So, in some ways, again, he is issuing it back to customers. We're talking about a state that has, under 40 million people? So it's not like with the money that's clearly been generated in Connecticut that they can't do it for the people here. Now let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Mike is in Plainville. How you doing, Mike?
I'll tell you what, if you see that in 2028, you're going to see people leaning over the kitchen sink or hugging the toilet bowl. Those two guys run.
I know. And listen, it sounds crazy, but this guy, look.
It is. It sounds nuts.
It does. Ever since I got to WTIC, I have noticed everything he does seems to mimic Gavin Newsom in some way. He talks about it when he talks about California in such a way, it's almost like, well, do you want to run the state? Like, what are you angling for?
He doesn't have any ideas of his own. He's pathetic.
You know what? That's a great point, Mike. I think that's a horrible way to govern. I'm sorry, say again?
He just doesn't have any of his own ideas.
Yeah.
He's just
a mimic?
Anomaly.
A mimic.
He's a cardboard cutout.
I don't know. Again, I don't get it. Other than, listen, because he has this idea, and I've heard him talk about it before. California, so goes the country. And again, I don't see other states, adopting these ideas in the way that Ned Lamont does. I've never seen another state do it. Just never.
Maybe I'm a little behind, but I have a question about Bob Duff. I mean, what's the Drudge Report? What's that?
Oh, Drudge.
Can you give me a capsule real quick?
Absolutely. So Drudge has a headline, and Drudge is not a fan of Donald Trump, and he's been actively working to smear Donald Trump in every word that comes out of his mouth. But now, because Donald Trump is talking about Liz Cheney and her family being war hawks, he was explaining in an interview with Tucker Carlson that, look, this woman wants to put our children in harm's way, put them in regions across the country that are going to get them killed. And for what? For no good reason. And he says, like many parents do when it comes to the federal government, you need to stand out there and, and deal with the things that, our armed military does every day. So he made that claim. She needs to be out there. See what happens when she's out there with 9 guns trained in her face, like our, active duty military does. And now they're saying that he's threatening her.
It's just another example of how stupid and naive people are in this country when they even take a minute or two to listen to Liz Cheney.
They are not, again, in this whole thing, this news report has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with naivete or stupidity. This is purposeful to totally take his words out of context because they've got nothing left. And
every day they try it. It's not working.
Exactly. And again, this is another, listen, what they're trying to do is push the garbage claim, the garbage comments out of Joe Biden's mouth. They are trying to push that aside so badly, so feverishly, because they know it hurts. They know it's damaging them. And they're trying to change the news cycle.
One last question. Is the mission a go for next Wednesday?
Yes, but where is not been determined yet, but I should have an answer for you on Monday.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your time.
You got it, sir. Much appreciated. Craig is in the car. What's going on, big guy?
Point of fact, Matt Drudge has been dead for years. So it's not him, it's the organization.
Yes, exactly.
That's what beside the point. So you had said something earlier that I'm gonna flip the script on you a little bit and give you a different perspective.
Okay.
Trump is not looking to gain the popular vote as a vanity project or for ego.
Okay.
He is visiting states like New York and New Jersey
and New Mexico,
down ballot candidates across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the House and Senate, but in state legislatures.
Okay.
He brings out voters like nobody else can, and I think that's his objective.
Oh no, I agree with that.
Out to vote.
I agree with that, but okay, but let me push back on this this way, Craig. The New Mexico visit, the New York visit, I don't think there's a strong likelihood that down ballot in New York, at least I haven't seen anything that suggests that down ballot in New York, it'd be nice to get some down ballot in New York, but I believe that Donald Trump pays very close attention to his internals. And if New York has a strong possibility, not many swing states, as it were, are needed. Like, in essence, if Wisconsin isn't in play, like if he's reading the tea leaves that suggest that Wisconsin is not real, like it's a toss-up, like a real toss-up, and it is a real toss-up according to every poll I've seen, perhaps getting New York is is sort of like a nice shot in the arm to the entire campaign because it changes everything.
You can look this up faster than I can in the car, but
okay.
In New York, how many votes did Lee Zeldin lose by in the last election?
Yeah, that was okay. Fair argument. I can totally. It hurts like hell when you say it, but yes, it's such a great point. I can't deny it.
When you're talking about the House and the Senate, it's one or two elections can make an enormous difference.
True. In fact,
I think he's very mindful of that. Yeah, would it be nice to win the popular vote? Of course, but I think there's a bigger play here.
But remember, there's a
political capital.
There's a mandate, Craig. There is a mandate in winning the popular vote, right? Because in essence, he's got a coalition in winning that by saying, look, to Democrats, he's saying, look, if we clear that hurdle, which, again, not since Reagan have we seen, if you clear that hurdle of the popular vote as well as the Electoral College, Democrats are running, against the tide when they oppose a president with that kind of coalition. That's why I'm saying it's important to Donald Trump that says, listen, your opposition to me is an opposition to the American people. After the garbage comment, do you remember what he said on stage in Wisconsin? Do you remember what he said? He said that Joe Biden called 250 million people garbage. In the last election, the last election, how many people voted? We had 81 and 75. He's suggesting that he's got two-thirds of the country.
Here's the other thing that winning the popular vote does.
Mm-hmm.
Is it immediately squashes the Democrats' push to get rid of the Electoral College.
Indeed.
Because they're going to drop that like you can't believe.
Yep.
If Trump wins the popular vote.
Yeah.
It'll be, thank God for the Electoral College.
Indeed. Yeah, because you're right. Because every narrative that is used by the left has to be completely shut down so that it doesn't get used as a cudgel later on. Because they've been running that since, the Hillary Clinton campaign of 2016.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Just a quick anecdote. I changed my contact from WTIC in my phone to Reese for, 522-9842, and I'll tell you why I did it.
Okay.
Every time I told Siri to call WTIC, her response to me was calling World Trade Center number 1. It was the creepiest.
That is creepy.
Creepiest thing on the planet. I said, ugh.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that is a little creepy.
Hey, I'll see you Wednesday, man.
You got it, boss man. Let's go to Nikki in Hartford. Hello, Nikki.
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Very good.
A couple things. Good. I'm glad. A couple things. when Kamala was talking to all of us, her agenda was the economy, climate control, and depopulation. And I don't think she knew that she said that.
Right.
But it came out. So now she's really pushing about the abortion. And Trump is not pushing abortion. He says it needs to be out of the government's hands.
Indeed.
They shouldn't even be involved.
And I agree with that.
Wonderful.
And many of us agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think that the greatest response that I saw recently was News Nation did a town hall with Chris Cuomo and one of the mothers from the Moms of Liberty. You know, she talked about that. She says, you hear all these people talking about my body, my choice. And she goes, well, where was that sentiment during COVID, during the vaccine?
Right.
You know, and it's the greatest pushback ever.
Right. And they let in to open up our borders at the height of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Right then and there, that makes you wonder why. They came in unvaxxed, unhealth checked, they didn't do
unmitigated.
anything. Exactly. But what I really called for is, did you see what happened with ABC News, and they let the election results come across the screen for
local
Pennsylvania?
during the Formula One race, they leaked the test run of the votes. And interestingly enough, it showed Kamala Harris with 3 million some odd votes and Donald Trump with 2 million. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and then they were the final results. So how do you feel about that? I mean, doesn't that kind of show you what's happening?
Well, actually, what it shows me was what I would say is wishful thinking. I'm not going to say anything until something else comes up. Colorado's a bigger thing. It's a bigger thing to watch, Nikki. Watch what's going on in Colorado. That's a huge story. Let's get into another check of our traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're traveling on the southbound side of I-91, look for slow traffic now as you move down from exit 33 down to 32A and B. Delays again approaching 24 down to 23. Looks like an earlier accident that was down by exit 23 and the left lane's been cleared. Northbound 91 is going to lose some speed now between the Middletown Rest area and exit 21 at Cromwell. After that, easy ride Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing in East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to exit 44 Prospect Oakwood. 84 eastbound tight Prospect Oakwood 44 up into the tunnel. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 westbound's a little slow, exit 4 to the 84 west merge.
I'll be right back.
Heading into Middletown, that looks good, both sides of 9. 691 westbound slowing from 7 up to exit 8B, the ramp to 84 west. Westbound 84 is tied up from exit 31 in Southington up to just west of the 691 interchange. An accident reported there. 84 eastbound in Cheshire slowing and getting by exit 26. If you are traveling into the Danbury area, look for delays on the eastbound side of 84 from 8 up to exit 11 in Newtown. South 95 slows 46 to 43 in West Haven. 91 southbound delays 3 into the 95 interchange. And look out for an accident on the southbound side of the Parkway down by exit 62. In Hamden, we've got an accident in the left lane there. Delays are approaching exit 63 behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC. Well, the rest of our Friday afternoon becoming sunny, increasingly windy and warm, breaking the record from 1974 with the high of 82, and those west winds at 12 to 25 miles an hour. Tonight, it'll be breezy, otherwise mainly clear and cooler. The low down to 47. Sunny to partly cloudy, breezy and cooler Saturday. That high of 59 will feel quite a bit cooler with that northwest wind of 10 to 20 miles an hour. Mostly sunny, less windy, but cooler Sunday, a high of 56. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
71 degrees at 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. We set a record with a high of 84 this afternoon, mid-40s for the low overnight. Red flag warning remains in effect through 7 tonight. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris both campaigning in Wisconsin tonight. Trump last night, appearing with Tucker Carlson, appeared to suggest his rival Liz Cheney should face a firing squad. Cheney says Trump is, quote, a cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant. Kamala Harris added this today, calling Trump's comments disqualifying.
We see this kind of rhetoric that is violent in nature, where we see this kind of spirit coming from Donald Trump that is so laden with the desire for revenge and retribution. And Liz Cheney is a tough person. She is an incredible American, and I have an incredible amount of respect for her.
Police in New Haven now say there was an exchange of gunfire when 4 people were shot near Yale at about 2 a.m. One suspect is in custody, according to Police Chief Carl Jacobson, and they're pursuing another.
They are known to the police. One of them was on parole. One had been arrested in the past but had not been adjudicated yet. And both of those individuals had weapons charges in the past.
The audio from WFSB, it happened on Church Street. A 19-year-old woman from West Haven is in critical condition. 3 young men suffered non-life-threatening injuries. After years of surging employment, a disappointing jobs report, hurricanes bear part of the blame.
The Labor Department reported a gain of only 12,000 jobs last month, well below the more than 100,000 expected, as the report was heavily skewed by the impacts of Hurricanes Helene and Milton and the month-long walkout by Boeing's factory workers in Washington state, which resulted in the manufacturing sector losing 46,000
All right, give me a second on him.
October. Less than half the firms in the survey responded, the lowest response rate since 1991. The weaker jobs gain is strengthening the odds of the Fed cutting interest rates by a quarter point at next week's meeting.
CBS's Jason Brooks. On Wall Street, the Dow climbed 289 points. S&P was plus 23. NASDAQ was up 145. Sports, college football, UConn hosting Georgia State. Kickoff just after 7 p.m. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News.
It's Alice Shattuck, and I've lost 70 pounds since having my 5th baby a year ago. It's all thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss, and you can do it too. Just book your first appointment today by calling 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 860-981-0063 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 860-981-0063. That's 860-981-0063 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 860-981-0063, 860-981-0063, or go to freedomcare.com.
Paid for by government.
1 minute.
Time to fill your vault with Morgan Silver Bars. Grab your piece of America's silver legacy with this special offer. These spectacular shining silver bars featuring a crisp image of the iconic Morgan silver dollar, a legendary coin that has captivated collectors for generations. Americans treasure owning silver bars and coins, putting them away for themselves and their loved ones. Call now to secure 1-ounce silver bars minted in 99.9% pure silver and made in the USA. You'll be glad you did. Hurry, don't miss out on this special deal. Save $10 per silver bar. The more you buy, the more you save. Limit of 25 bars per customer. Call to learn more. Plus, with qualifying orders, you'll receive a free Morgan silver dollar. That's a $59.95 value. Call 1-800-222-3871 now to secure your 1-ounce Morgan silver dollar bars. That's 1-800-222-3871.
This is Reese on the Radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. You're going to hear about it.
We may get a special guest on the line in this crazy election season. None other than Robert F. Hyde is on the line holding up. But don't worry, we won't go to him yet because, of course, we're not going to have any time for him. But maybe we'll talk to him. No, we'll talk to him at the other side of the break. He's got an interesting background. If you don't know anything about him, go look him up. I want to talk to him a little bit, if I can, about his involvement in the Ukraine scandal. No, I'm kidding. He knows what I'm talking about. We'll get him on here in a little bit. Before we wrap it up, we'll talk to him for about 5-10 minutes and talk about his campaign and how much ground he's making here in Connecticut. It is very rare, folks, to see so many Republicans fighting so hard in the state of Connecticut. It's been a long time. It's for me, it feels really, really good. It's even when they lose, it's nice to see it's nice to see the pushback. It's nice to see it. Pushing up against that blue wall, as it were. All right, so we'll talk about that and so much more. But if you got a grievance, we'll see if we can get you in today. Also, don't forget, live, I'll be hanging out with Brian Shackman and Tom Shattuck on election night. So the whole deal will be the regular shifts, as Brian in the morning, Tom in the late morning, early afternoon, and of course me from 3 to 6. And then I will be sticking around because Brian and Tom will be back in, and we'll talk to, I guess, from what I'm hearing in the promos, we're going to have a bunch of guests in studio or on the phones. Roland, do you know? Not yet.
I believe is going to be on. I don't think people are allowed to come in on that Tuesday.
Oh no. We're going to be talking to pundits. Analysis. And be like, so I don't know exactly who's coming.
Some people may be in and some on the phone.
Okay, some on the phone. So we're going to talk to a whole bunch of people. They're using the term experts, but I don't know who they are. So they call them experts. I don't know if they're experts, but I'm sure they followed politics for a long time. So we will talk to them as well. And I'll be able to ask them some questions off the beaten path. I know everyone's got their questions that they're asking. I'm probably going to be a little more in depth and have some fun. Is that Tom in there? Yeah, look at that, Tom, inside the chat room. He said, I'd like top billing over Brian, please. I can't. The rap group is called BTR, okay? It's Brian, Tom, and Reese in the order of which they appear on WTIC. And if Mark Christopher from the BTS Traffic Center was in there, we would put him in between somebody. I don't know. Who would you be in between in this new rap group? Mark Christopher's
in between Brian and
Oh, that's right. So technically he would be first. So it would be MBTR, the worst rap group ever assembled on election day. Hey, Mark.
The rap group that would get thrown in jail for just bad rapping.
Yeah, just bad. Exactly. They would arrest us for the worst rapping ever. In fact, the black guy on the group would give you no credibility to speak of. That's how horrible it would be.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Todd, wait a minute. Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 got delays 33 down to 32 A and B, and then you're slowing again as you move between 25 and 24. Northbound side 91 losing some speed as you approach exit 21. In Middletown after that easy ride, Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is slowing, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue, 84 eastbound, tight 44 Prospect Oakwood into the tunnel, 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 westbound slowing, exit 4 to the 84 West merge, quiet Middletown. 691 westbound's a little tight as you move between 7 and exit 8B to 84 West. If you're on the westbound side of 84 in Cheshire, delays from exit 29 down to the 691 interchange. Again, some slow traffic, 26 to 25 in Waterbury.
Hey, Tom, everyone is asking whether or not Alice is going to be, I guess, with us, doing, analysis, I guess, as well. But I told them, I said, I could only ask you. You would be the only person who's going to know. But other than that, it's just the three of us, I assume.
3 down in toward the 95 interchange. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather. After some late summer-like weather this week, it's definitely diving back into fall this weekend, mainly clear and cooler tonight, the low down to 48. Then Saturday, sunny to partly cloudy, a breezy, cool day. The high of 59 will feel like low to mid-50s at best with the northwest winds cranking along at 10 to 20 miles an hour throughout the day. Then don't forget to set the clocks back Saturday night. Change the batteries in your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors as we fall back into Sunday. Mostly sunny, that high of 56, a cool day but less windy. Monday, cloudy, a warm up on the way as we head toward the middle of the week, a high 55 Monday. Tuesday, though, for Election Day, breezy and much warmer, a big jump with sunshine and mixing with some clouds. The high jumping up to 75, so no weather issues to keep you away from the polls. Wednesday, mostly sunny and warm, the high of 77. Meriden 72, Bristol 67, 70 in Mansfield, also 70 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
Looking for the best ways to prepare for retirement? Then be sure to tune in to Johnson Brunetti's Money Wisdom with Eric Hogarth tomorrow morning at 8:30 right here on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Bring the nail gun over here!
Jose stands tall atop his sustainable flooring company.
Totally. It's renewable and moisture resistant, but we have several green options too. Or we got some beautiful reclaimed oak.
But floored by his success, he needs to hire more installers.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
In the early days, news was not a top priority at WTIC. Although news, sports, and weather were broadcast on a regular basis as early as 1927, there was no news staff. Bulletins were supplied by the Hartford Courant and the Hartford Times and read on the air by staff announcers. For years, radio was not regarded as a serious news medium that was able to compete with the newspapers. However, two major local weather events, the flood of '36 and the hurricane of '38, showed the importance of having a strong local news department. Still, for decades, news continued to be read by staff announcers. Until the 70s, when things began to change, and then news director Walt Dibble developed a staff of journalists who would become writers, editors, and on-air reporters. Under his direction, locally produced news reached a new level, and the WTIC news team began to take shape.
Natural disasters happen every year.
Oh, a minute.
Hurricanes, tornadoes. And with that, your most important moments recorded on VHS, camcorder tapes, and 8mm could all be gone in an instant. Cherished moments like your wedding, baby's first steps, family trips to Yellowstone. Lost. Enter Legacy Box. Digitizing your old media with Legacy Box protects your irreplaceable memories from the threat of natural disaster by digitally preserving them onto thumb drive, DVD, or the cloud, so they're safe forever. Legacy Box is the safest and easiest way to preserve your past, which is why it's been trusted by over 1 million families. Send Legacy Box your home movies, photos, and film. Their team of trained professionals will do the rest right here in the U.S. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering radio listeners an incredible off. Go to legacybox.com/value and save 50% when you digitize your memories. That's legacybox.com/value.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Reese on the Radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC. About to get up out of here. But you know what? If there's one thing that I believe is what old NHL star Wayne Gretzky once said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And this gentleman decided to just cold call the station and said, you know what, I want to be on. Now, normally, folks, I would have said, absolutely not. Because it wasn't pre-scheduled. But I don't like pre-scheduled. I hate that kind of stuff. So you know what? Let's just wing it. I'm kidding. I'm not winging it. On the phone with us is United States Senate candidate Rob Hyde. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Reese. Thank you for having me.
Now, I'm not going to lie. You're the kind of guy who I like as far as the media and the news cycle and election cycles go. You got a little bit of controversy on you there, young man.
Yeah, you need it.
Yeah, I understand that you do, and you don't take any prisoners, as it were. You are running now. If I get this correct, you're running against Murphy. Am I getting this right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you are on the ballot Now, I'm sure that you're aware of the guy who's running against him. In essence, I guess the party favorite in this case is Matt Corey. Is your intention to siphon off votes from Chris Murphy to help Matt Corey? Or are you serious about this election?
Both.
Okay. All right. I can deal with that kind of honesty. What is, and I understand that, I'm sure you have some affinity to Matt Corey because, of course, I know you're not a fan of Chris Murphy, as I am not either. So I commend your efforts. What does it look like as far as your internals are concerned? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I hope I get your vote.
Well, let's just say you can't, but I appreciate you asking. But let me put it to you this way. What is, other than your intent to obviously be an upset, what do your internals look like as far as the support that you have from the party or from independents or that much? Like, how much damage could you possibly create in this election between Matt Corey and Chris Murphy, if you could?
So it looks pretty good. I mean, if you take the current poll that's out there with 51% going to Murphy, 36% going to Corey, and 19% up for grabs, there's quite a bit of ground to be gained right there. And if I score the 3% goal that I was hoping to get, I create a second party line for candidates, Republican candidates, conservative candidates in the future, so we can give them two ballot lines on statewide elections from here on out.
Now, that 3% is a theory. I've always hated it. I got to be honest with you. And I've seen this done before. I always talk about guys like Ralph Nader, right? And I know that's a national race, but I've seen it in the state as well. 3% is, they always call that the reasonable goal. The reasonable measure is 3%. But I do believe in order to affect change, you got to do 4 or better. Is that a likelihood, or is that out of reach, or is that not even an intent?
No, that's absolutely within reach. So there's 19% on the board, right? You have 36% going from, supposedly in the most recent poll, 36% going for Matt Corey, and you got at least for the taking. So yeah, absolutely. I think listen, I'm optimistic. I've been getting an outlook, tons of support, tons of pictures about my show. I think it's within reason that I can garner that support. I mean, look, I fight for you. I fought for the last 9 years for everybody in Connecticut in this country. Not including that. I mean, obviously I did time in Iraq with the Marine Corps.
Right.
I fought for you guys there in 2003. So look, if you want a candidate that's going to fight for you, it's me all day long. You want to put more money in your pocket? It's me. You want lower gas prices, grocery prices, electric prices? That's me. You're going to get that with me.
What's been the reaction from the Republican Party? I know you had some issues with them back in 2019, and of course because there was a PR nightmare that went with your campaign back then. What's your standing with them now? Or are you absolutely independent without any sort of relationship with the rank and file Republican Party in the state?
Absolutely not. I mean, the chairman gave me his blessing. Corey texted me yesterday, wished me good luck on Tuesday. I did the same to him. Corey and Smith both signed my application to start this party.
Okay.
I've gotten, I don't want to put anything out there, but I got a lot of leadership that sent me pictures of their house with me voting for me. So listen, I'm not trying to take votes from Corey at all. My goal is to take as many votes from Murphy, people that don't align with the Connecticut GOP. They don't really listen. I have nothing but respect for everybody in politics.
Right.
I try not. I don't. It's like that Reagan rule, not to talk bad about your fellow Republican. And
I don't think in any way. I don't think I am in any way, Rob Hyde, asking you to do that.
But I'm just saying, like,
okay.
80% of my friends, and the 20%, you're not just going to say they're not my friends because they disagree with the way I run. I supported Trump day one. I worked for him in 2020.
Yep.
I ran the Wake Forest County, North Carolina ground game for his reelection campaign. I mean, I've done a lot. So, I chose not to primary this year, not to do the convention process on the fact that I wasn't going to support Nikki Haley and Kristen Nunu, who were coming down here to work. I mean, that's who the Connecticut GOP supported at the time.
Yeah.
They weren't supportive of Trump. I've always been 100% supportive of Trump and America First policy. So,
Dude.
I mean, that's where you got me to run in this game. Listen, I still respect my.
I think I lost him. Yeah, there he is. Okay.
No. I just don't align with their. I'm a diehard America First kind of guy.
Right. No, I hear you. Listen, I hear you. And in no way am I. Listen, I'm not questioning your dedication to the party and party politics and where your stance is. I'm more or less considering this as a person who is kind of a wonk on this, on what the ground game is, because again, we're looking at 36%, as you just stated, for Matt Corey. Matt Corey's going to need to cover a lot of ground in a little bit of time. If those numbers hold steady, right, and he's looking at what's the sense, at the end of it all. But if you're going to be a spoiler, I really do believe that it's got to be in cutting into, because I think that a lot of people are just comfortable with Chris Murphy doing nothing in this state. If anything's going to happen, if there are going to be any changes, he's going to have to step down and leave this seat wide open for a Republican to come in fresh, without having to deal with an incumbent. Let's just put it that way. But I'm more concerned when I see a third-party candidate, and I'm always concerned about, not like in the way Jill Stein is or, Ralph Nader. I'm always concerned in state elections with a third party on whether or not they're sort of, spitting in the wind, as it were, because it covers no ground.
No, actually, absolutely not. In fact, I want 1,000 of your listeners, all of your listeners, to run for office. I want more people in the game. We're one of a few states that does a convention process. Unless you're an establishment candidate, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
So you honestly, I want more people to run for third parties. I think, by the way, the last time a Republican won the Senate seat was 42 years ago.
Indeed.
It was 18 years ago a third party candidate won the seat, and it was 24 years ago a third party won the seat, and 30 years ago. So yeah. I mean, you had Weicker and Lieberman both won as a third party. Granted, they had huge name recognition and money behind them.
Right.
But the reality is, like, third party candidates have won in the state of Connecticut.
I kind of feel like Lieberman is an asterisk on that front, with all due respect. You know what I mean? I know people, listen, for statistical reasons, people mention Lieberman, but I always feel like it's like a Barry Bonds home run,
But you gotta remember, like, he came out of the gate and he did beat Lamont, who beat him in the primary. So that's an interesting story in itself.
Right,
He lost
indeed.
the primary. And by the way, because you don't have a lot of time in between that convention and that primary, and then from that primary to where you have to get the signatures and create your third party and to run. So, he did a remarkable job in a short amount of time to be able to come back and win. It's unheard of. That's unheard of.
Well, you know what? Good luck to you. I really do appreciate you calling, and thank you for cold calling. I'm assuming you listen to the show, or are you just calling every radio station?
Well, hold on. Let me give your fans a shout out, right?
Oh no, I was gonna get there.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check me out at hideforsenate.com. You'd like what you see. If you don't, then fine, don't. But I would love to get your vote. I'm gonna fight for you. I want to get rid of sales tax. I want to get rid of property tax for anybody over 65. I want to do a bunch of stuff on a national level. Obviously, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. I want to work with the Trump administration and make our country and state great again. So hideforsenate.com, and I'd love to have your support.
I want my property taxes taken care of too.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thanks for calling us. Rob Hyde for Senate. Check them out, and if you feel like voting for third party candidates or a third candidate, absolutely, you are free to do so. Thank you, man. I appreciate the call.
Thanks, Reese.
You got it, sir. And be an avid listener, okay? All right? Don't just call when you're running for something. Before we get up out of here, I want to read this article. This is interesting. This is coming from, what is the publication? This is from The Hill. Headline, CNN contributor takes back Cheney firing squad quip, "I was wrong." Political analyst Jonah Goldberg, a Republican, retracted comments made during a Friday CNN appearance in response to former President Trump's criticism of former Representative Liz Cheney. on her foreign policy. This morning on CNN, I referred to Trump's rifles quote as him advocating for a firing squad for Liz Cheney. I was reaching in haste to what were objectively appalling and irresponsible comments that had been framed in a setup piece in context of previous statements Trump made about shooting protesters and having generals executed, Goldberg wrote on a statement on X. He says he added that his comments were wrong and did not encompass the true meaning of the former president's response. Trump was making, albeit in his customary fashion, a different argument about Cheney's alleged foreign policy views and the use of force, Goldberg stated. I let my disgust at Trump's comment get the better of me, as this was the first time I had heard them. I regret the initial comment because it was inaccurate and contributed to the kind of overheated environment Trump thrives on, he continued. Trump's words were bad enough. So he is apologizing for taking them out of context, even as he criticizes Donald Trump, saying that Donald Trump in no way made threats towards Liz Cheney. This is a CNN commentator who is correcting the record and apologizing for his knee-jerk reaction. Lest we all take a beat. Okay? I can't wait to be there on Monday. I can't wait to be there with you and hang out with you. It is going to be a blast. So enjoy your weekend. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night and a pleasant weekend. Can't wait. Mark Christopher, I know we're going to hang out. Even though I don't drink, I'll buy you a Kool-Aid or something if you want. You know what I'm saying? What do you like, grape? You like raspberry? What kind of Kool-Aid?
You bring the Kool-Aid, I'll bring the Kettle One. And
I can't have that. Well. I can't.
All right.
No. Bring the cornbread. No, I'm kidding.
The cornbread, you got it. You got it. That's easy.
Can't wait,
cornbread,
guys.
And what do you want on your cornbread?
Just cornbread. There's no. What do you mean corn? What do you want on your
Honey.
cornbread? Oh, honey, yeah, honey's not
I
bad.
I put butter on mine.
Oh, yeah, butter's good. Butter's good.
All right. You got it. Have a great weekend,
You
Reese.
too.
Heading into Hartford, southbound 91, delays 33 down to 32.
All right, sir.
All right, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Quiet ride.
Hope your flight is nice and smooth.
Oh, I think I've already jinxed it.
Yeah, I just got my email back saying they're reviewing my.
Your complaint?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. You might get. Listen, you might get.
Even if I get half of my money back, I'll be happy.
They're gonna give you. They're gonna give you one of those Visa cards and the whole thing, like maybe $500 on it. They did that for Roseanne and I.
I'll take it.
Yeah, no doubt. We went shopping in Salt Lake City.
That's what's up. I want to go shopping.
You got it. All right, I'll talk to you. I'll see you on Monday.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy.
Some more slow traffic as you move just south of exit 59 in New Haven. Southbound 95 New Haven slowing from 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
All right, folks, thank you. Johnny, give me 5 minutes and I'll give you a holler, okay? What was it? Oh, yeah, thank you, Michael A. Grape knee high. That's taking it back, Lori. Grape knee high. Gee.